Philadelphia. I'm Bruce Buffer. It's time for the Anthony Gargano Show.
Good morning, everybody. Happy Football Friday live from the Xfinity Den. That's us. That's right, the Anthony Gargano Show. Well, it's a Football Friday, but the lead heading into the Super Bowl rematch of Eagles and Chiefs is what took place last night. South Philadelphia, Citizens Bank Park, as the Phillies went over 3 million people in attendance. They sweep the Mets. Oh, get the brooms. Red October is coming. They just took that steak and hammered it. Bang, 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 right into the heart of the Mets. The Lizard struck early for 4 runs, looking shaky, settles down, retires 22 straight, gives the Phil's bats a chance to come back, and they finish off thanks to the tarantula. 6-4 win. Wow. VG's boy, Otto Kemp goes yard again. Timely hits, a good bullpen performance. And I started that little chill in the air in the morning. Lets us know that baseball playoffs. It's great that football's here. It's also great that right around the corner is the MLB playoffs. A red October. It's a red September and a green September. It's Christmas colors all fall, man, as we get ready for a Super Bowl rematch. Follow along the nightly fills. It's a great time in Philadelphia sports. Good morning, VG.
Wow, dude. Wow.
Yeah, buddy.
That was something.
It really
Otto,
was.
Man, it almost feels like, I think like a player like Otto, they come up, then he gets sent down, and it's frustrating getting sent down. And I think it's almost like, I would have did this different maybe if I get another chance. And he's up. He looks like he's a little better this time around. And then Luzardo. Yeah, and then
Luzardo's the lead.
Then Luzardo comes. He looks horrible. He looks like Taiwan, and then he looks like Steve Carlton. I gotta leave with my boy. I mean, how many times can I give my boy flowers? Not that often.
All right. Well, the Lizard is the story.
Yeah, he turns into Steve Carlton. That is so hard to do when you get rustled up like that in the first inning to lock in. It's so hard.
That's a great point, and this is something that I think we all worried about come October, right? Like, what would happen if Luzardo faces some sort of adversity, right? Because never pitched in October, right? The whole thing. And he showed you that he's got the mental toughness to get through it. Like, I love the fact that he got beat up early and then settled down and found his groove and went 22 straight and kept his team in it. Like, that is a huge development for the rotation come the fall. Like, that heartens you. Because you worried, like, oh my God, what if meltdown happens? Get him out. Well, now you know that he can work through it.
Right, because that was the big concern the whole season, it feels like. Once he had a bad call or a bad play, he got in his head, and he was a disaster after that. And then last night, man, that is so difficult to do, to come out. And he was perfect after that first inning.
No, he was. He was perfect. Again,
crazy.
You got a desperate team, a team that's clinging.
Yes.
Right? And so they like, it feels good about itself when, you jump out and you score 4, you go, all right, well, at least we'll salvage a game in the series. And my man Andrew just put it up. Like, here you go. Look at the standings. I mean, the Phillies, it's a great story, man, that they lose their horse, right? And the soul of their pitching staff in Zach Wheeler. And all the other losses start to mount, right? You've already dealt with Bohm and then Turner and the hamstring. And all of a sudden, like, they just have played such great baseball. Other than the one blip in New York, it's been great ball. I mean, they go to Milwaukee, they take care of business, right? Like, you're taking care of business in all across the National League. And then, you come home against the Mets, and they got one more shot at you, and you sweep them.
Like
I would have been
four-gamer.
Right. I would have been happy for a split.
Yes.
Right. So I would have been
joyous with a split.
Yeah.
The way that we've been playing the Mets.
And the way the pitching matchups were kind of settled,
Yes.
the way they were slated. And so here you go. They give you a 4-game sweep. I mean, it's just tremendous. It really is.
They've got the pitching rotation lined up. It's going to be the 3 lefties, I guess, for the Dodgers. Because tonight we got Bueller.
Right.
And then it'll be
Bueller.
Right. Yeah. So we're going to have Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. It'll be good baseball.
No, man. It's a showdown. It's a preview of what's going to happen in October. It's awesome theater.
The energy that Bader's brought.
I love the Bader.
He's also
Bader's the best.
And I don't think I was alone. A little disgruntled at the bats we got at the deadline. And all right, Dombrowski, he did the right move. It looks like so far, so good.
Yeah. No, it's the truth. I mean, listen.
If they had a center fielder the whole year, they might have 105 wins.
I told you I told you it had the deals were flopped, right? And you had Bader first, and then the Durantula second. It would have been a different vibe to it, different feel to it. I told you I like Bader. I did. But I mean, nobody's expected this kind of play. I just like the fact that he's a baseball player, man. Like he's gritty. Like he fits the town so well, man. He feels he got liberated from Minnesota.
Right. Yes.
And, as a guy that's been around the league, right? He's been around baseball. He's been around, he's been in several teams, including the Mets, right? And he feels at home in this clubhouse. It's awesome, man. It's gonna be a fun October. I feel good about the pitching. Like Luzardo last night just calms me down in a big way. It really does, because you can now count, because Sanchez has become the de facto ace without Wheeler. And, Ranger, after that period of dead arm, whatever you want to call it, that he went through, has pitched well. Like his last 4 starts have been lights out, like really
unhittable
good stuff, man.
If you do hit him, it's soft contact. He's not really giving up any hard contact.
Not barreling up with him. On him. So that's a big deal, having those 3. And then, you see about Nola, but there's no question in my mind that I don't care. I know you like to mix in a righty, but I'm going lefty, lefty, lefty. I think you got to give yourself a best chance to win. Maybe game 3, depending on, road, home, matchup.
Up 2-0.
Yeah, like all that stuff. Like I could, maybe I go Luzardo 4, Nola 3, or it all depends on kind of what it looks like. But Rob Thompson now has a little bit of solace in his starting staff, right? And the bullpens pitched well last night, man. Kept you in the game. Like no, they weren't after Luzardo settles down.
Yeah,
and the bridge to the Durantula, it worked.
Everything's working right now. It feels a little. I'm not saying anything, but it feels good right now.
Yeah,
they seem like they're cruising on the right trajectory.
And it's a great night on the night they surpassed 3 million people at Citizens Bank Park to complete the sweep of the Mets. 3 million people. Let's take a second just to thank this fan base. It's special. It's a special thing. The ballpark. We've talked about it during this entire run, during this entire decade of the 20s. We've been talking about what it feels like at Citizens Bank Park. It is Xanadu. It's a different vibe. It's unlike anywhere else in baseball. Everybody says it, and it's setting up for a great fall, man.
It's going to be a lot of fun.
It really is. Rematch Sunday. Eagles, Chiefs, Super Bowl 59 rematch. So we got a heavy football show for you today, as you could well imagine. It's Football Friday. Coming up in about 5 minutes, we're going to talk to E.J. Smith from our All Eagles show, our Eagles beat writer. We'll talk to Fran on Franny Films to go over the game plan. Every Friday, we talk to Fran about the game plan. The brain for some Sunday selections. Mike Garafolo from the NFL Network will join us coming up at 10 o'clock at 10:30. Baldy, and then we got Danny D, the AD. We got TV Todd. So it's going to be a busy show and certainly overtime.
Can I just add one thing? Oh, my mic's not working here.
What do you got, Andrew, my boy? Yeah, all right. There you go. I think.
Can you hear me now?
Yeah, I think so.
Can you hear me now?
Yeah.
All right, here we go. It is officially today marks our, where is the graphic? I have it. 2-year anniversary here at PHLY.
Yes,
All right.
Yes.
Yeah, nicely done.
Yeah, I got so caught up in what's the landscape of Philadelphia sports. It is our 2-year anniversary. I had to sit out for the first 6 months.
I heard you're like putting time out.
Right, I was put in jail. But this is a great thing. I want to thank everybody here at PHLY for all their hard work in launching this that didn't exist. Right, we are a division of All City, and it's a great cluster. It's all about local teams and our community. We provide you coverage. We provide you a place to hang and a place for all fans, whatever you're into, right? So if you're looking for Flyers, we got you Flyers every day, Sixers every day, of course, Phillies and Eagles. So we want to give you a little deeper coverage, right? A little bit more nerdy, which I love, a little bit more journalism, which I love, and a lot of Philadelphia pride, which is my core.
Yeah, and major gratitude to all the people who take the journey with us and listen to us and watch us every day.
Yeah.
Definitely.
Yeah.
Right,
I
thanks
see Uncle
for,
Frank.
Thanks for trying something new and coming over with us.
Yeah,
seriously.
I see Uncle Frank. And listen, guys, all of our guys in the chat who congregate daily, we love you guys, man. I mean, we'll argue over takes and stuff like that, but it's the best. It's great discourse. You guys are great fans. And just remember, tell everybody, because we're still trying to get the word out. Please like and subscribe all the time with this show, all of our shows, because when you like and subscribe, it helps the algorithm. Because it's all about these algorithms and getting it out to people's feeds. So if you could do us a solid and be a town crier for us, right? That would really help us. And because we have more stuff. We just scratched the surface of some of the different content that we want to do. I have a whole special year for 2026 celebration that's planned up. We have great stuff to read. So please become a diehard member. That is a big deal for us. And we really have we have a great list of writers. We have a great group, man. Our beats, I think, are best in the city. I mean, the guys, for all of them, from Sixers and Flyers and Phillies and Eagles. You know, we love our
and sign up for Rich Hoffman's newsletter. It's the best morning newsletter before you get your day started. It's the best one in the city.
It gives you an update on everything. So please, we appreciate that. All right, we're going to get started on our Football Friday. Phillies will be throughout the conversation because I don't want to lose sight of that. But coming up, we're going to get to EJ. We'll look at the Eagles and Chiefs and what needs to happen for them to go 2-0. We saw the Packers last night look great. Kind of what I thought. I told you that they're the chief competition, and you saw them last night. I mean, Washington was never a threat in that game.
Washington, it seems like they're going to take the slight regression a lot of us thought they would. They're not going to be
good.
They win last year 12, 13.
Regress.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think this was more of a Packers win than a Commanders loss.
Definitely.
So
yeah, I just think the Commanders they're not in a top tier, I don't think, this year.
Yeah, I'll say it. It's a pack. That was a Packers. There wasn't like the Commanders' shortcoming. It was how good the Packers are. They're legit. They're legit. It's going to be they're the Eagles' chief rival. So we'll dive into it with all of our football people. There's a lot of them. EJ, Fran, Mikey G, Baldy. I mean, it's all coming up. Let's talk about some of our friends. All right, let's talk about it. Let's talk about Ford Tough. Ford Explorer, America's all-time best-selling SUV, a legacy of family trust and performance. 3-row seating for up to 7 passengers. It's great for families and road trips. And if you're, coach or youth sports, believe me, we have Danny D, the AD, the Explorer's got all kinds of room. When you actually put the seats down, 87.8 cubic feet of cargo space. All right, so you can fit all that equipment in there, whatever the sport is. They have a choice of 3 powertrains, including hybrid for better fuel economy, up to 300 horsepower with that i4 engine. They got 500 miles of driving range on the hybrid model. You got a suite of advanced driver assist features. There's a high-tech feel to driving the thing, man. It's like a spaceship. You're actually going to love it. Drive modes like snow, sand, tow, or haul. It's all ready for you. It's built for families, but ready for adventure. A true do-it-all SUV. For more information, please visit your local Ford store. Now let's talk about some Rothman, buddy.
Yeah, let's do it. Those fine folks over at Rothman Orthopedics.
You got the neck to prove it.
I do. They kept me alive. They got my neck in one piece. They got Andrew pain-free. They got Anthony moving around. So let's talk about whether you're biking the Schuylkill this fall, whether you're taking a little hiking trail coming up to see some foliage. That's where Rothman Orthopedics, they come in. Because from aches after a pickup game to old injuries flaring up on hiking or late summer adventures, Rothman's team of experts here to help you. With evidence-based care and a commitment to restoring your mobility, they'll get you back out there stronger than ever, pain-free. So don't let pain put your summer or fall on pause. Visit rothmanortho.com/PHLY to book your appointment today and get back to doing what you love. And more importantly, doing what you love pain-free.
Pain-free.
Rothman Orthopedics, getting back to your summer and fall game is their mission, and they're getting you to do it pain-free.
That's right. We love our Rothman doctors. Thank you, Tony. Tony from West Philly, Tony the ref, checking in. Congratulations on the 2-year anniversary.
Nice.
Taste the cake, Dom. Tony's like, listen, God always takes care of his children. I thought that was beautiful. Thank you, Tony. Very profound. Let's get to our man, E.J. Smith.
Temple Brand plays guitar. PHLY, Eagles rock star. It's E.J. Smith. E.J. Smith.
There he is on the Xfinity guest line, our buddy E.J. Smith. Good morning, E.J.
What's going on, guys? Happy Football Friday. Definitely, it's that time. We're excited.
Yeah, it is that time. And it's the Super Bowl rematch on Sunday, my brother. And there's going to be no Dallas Goedert for the game.
Yeah, no, I mean, it popped up on the injury report. I'd be surprised. I think this is going to be a week-to-week thing for him, which really puts them in an interesting spot. We've talked about the pressure looks that Spags will bring at you, and Dallas Goedert is a big part of in the run game, being able to make them multiple out of 11 personnel. So I'm really curious to see. They weren't in a great spot behind him, so I'm curious to see how they compensate for that loss.
Yeah, and you nailed it. To me, the game will center around how the Eagles handle the blitz, right? And Goedert is so good in pass blocking. I mean, he's terrific. And when it comes to sealing the edge on the run, he's so good. He's such a good blocker. And there's a noticeable drop-off with Calcaterra.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, there's been a stat going around about the Eagles' lack of success running against loaded boxes. And when you think about that Cowboys game, they had a lot of condensed sets. They had a lot of 12 personnel, 13 personnel sets, and you're going to get stacked boxes when you do that. I mean, it's just the nature. You've got a lot of guys in the box yourself. And, the reason that they weren't successful running into those boxes wasn't necessarily just because there were a lot of bodies in there. It was because Grant Calcaterra and Kylan Granson are not ideal point of attack blockers. So again, especially against Spags, you can't really afford to condense your sets, because then you were inviting a lot more of an exotic pressure package from a defensive coordinator like that. So it definitely makes it harder in the run game and the pass game. Like you mentioned, Goedert, being able to leave him in, max protect with him. I mean, they don't have a great option behind him that can do, obviously you aren't going to find many tight ends that can do both of the things that he does well, but they really don't have that blocking presence down the depth chart after Dallas Goedert.
It's funny. I was talking to somebody in the league. I brought this up yesterday to Pat, but you don't find a lot of great blocking tight ends. Like the days of Mark Bavaro and, Chad Lewis and all those guys, they don't, they're just all glorified receivers. And, it's a rare one that can do both.
Yeah, I don't know if it's because like if you're a blocking tight end, you'd be better off just moving one spot down, sticking your hand in the dirt and try and play tackle. But yeah, it's definitely a dying breed. And I found it interesting earlier this week, that Jack Stoll and Harrison Bryant both got elevated from the practice squad. So, I don't know if the Eagles were sniffing around different blocking tight ends that they've had in the past, but yeah, they definitely, again, it's just like, you wish that they had drafted it. You wish that they had addressed it in the draft, or even as Bo pointed out, signed an undrafted free agent, just a dirty work guy, So I'm sure that they're going to have to get creative here. They're going to have to figure out a way to run out of 11 and really to be able to pass out of 12 without Goedert.
Yeah. And here's the to me, the entire key rests on a leg, and it's the leg of AJ Brown. After looking at it at the all 22, EJ, it was clear that he's still not 100%. He wins those battles, and he didn't. And they're going to need him, especially the way Spags is going to attack him. I'm telling you, he's going to test AJ's leg to see if he can win the battle early. Like, we'll know early how AJ feels. You heard anything about that?
I mean, he is talking a lot about being careful in the way that he's approached this week. He hasn't talked too much about the injury, but I agree with you. He didn't look right. He just didn't look like he was really going 100% throughout the whole game. And whether that's injury or mentality, I think only he'll really know that. But I completely agree with you. The matchup against the Chiefs, you look at the season opener against the Chargers, Spags blitzed Justin Herbert 17 of his 41 dropbacks. And really the story of the game was the fact that the Chiefs really couldn't cover behind that blitz.
Right.
Herbert just was like carving them up every time they sent the blitz. And the Chiefs don't really have that talented secondary we're used to seeing from them. So you have to make them pay. You have to be able to rip off explosives, and you have to also be able to run against the blitz. And the Chargers were able to do that. I think it's a different story with the Eagles. Obviously Jalen Hurts has had his struggles with pressure looks. So that does really put the onus on AJ Brown and Devontae Smith to be able to kind of take the top off of that Chiefs defense when they do send those extra pressure.
Feels like, Dotson is going like the Super Bowl. He had the big catch. Like,
yeah, right.
It feels like that's going to be again the down the field matchup where there could be a big play to Dotson.
Yeah, I mean, he benefited from the attention that AJ Brown was getting against the Cowboys, and that could be something we see. But at the same time, like, I expect this to be a big AJ game just in terms of usage. We've seen the Eagles overcorrect in the past when it comes to a guy having a quiet game, especially in a season opener. Devontae Smith had no catches against the Lions a couple years ago. The following week, he had 7 targets and 7 catches. So I'm sure that it's part of the game plan. I'm sure that they will try to get the ball to AJ. But you're right. If the Chiefs are going to sell out to bracket AJ, I do think that Jahan Dotson becomes all the more important, like he was in week 1.
Other injuries, anything else of note that we need to know about?
Yeah, I'm waiting to see what happens with Will Shipley. My guess is he's going to end up on IR. And then Landon Dickerson back at practice. I think this is going to be the story with him. I think he's going to have his stretches where he misses time during games, but he's going to be working his way back each week in practice. So he's been out there. He was a full participant yesterday, so he's on track to play. And then, there's some of the new guys like Zadarius Smith and Tank Bigsby. We've seen them at practice too. I'd expect them to have a role. It's just a matter of really how much of a role we'd expect to see from him.
I guess Tank will return kicks.
Yeah, he was first up with the kickoff return. Yeah. He didn't look great on his first one. He bobbled the ball. He ended up fumbling against air there. So definitely not the greatest start for him. But yeah, I think we'll see him. And honestly, again, the team is bullish on him there. And I think with Shipley out, you're going to expect to see him work into the offense over time eventually too.
Yeah, I'll see that. Zadarius Smith is the guy that I'm really curious about because he gives you a terrific pass rusher. And let's talk about the defense for a second. Chiefs have their own issues offensively. I don't think Worthy's going to play. So that means they're down Worthy and Rice, their top 2 receivers, their top deep threat. They're going to go at it. Obviously, Hollywood Brown, who got a slew of targets last week. Thornton is a guy that can stretch the field. I think they like him as a guy that stretches the field. And, Travis Kelce, I don't know what to think. I mean, respect him. I mean, great career. He just didn't look explosive to me last week.
Yeah, I don't know if he has as much juice like in structure. I don't think that they're going to have him as the primary read on a lot of things necessarily, or at the very least, I don't think he's going to win as the primary read. The scramble drill stuff with him is still where I really think he can make an impact. Cooper DeJean talked earlier this week about the importance of limiting those scramble drills because of that matchup. Fran mentioned it's like a mind meld between Mahomes and Kelce, and I think that is really where that can make you pay, is when they're extending plays and out of structure. So no, I'm with you. I think that they really are lacking that speed that it's just on the injury report. You look at they're not available, I guess is the best way to say it, with Rashee Rice and Xavier Worthy. They don't have that perimeter threat the way that we're used to seeing the Chiefs offenses have. So yeah, I think that this matchup really is going to come down to being able to limit Patrick Mahomes, what he can do on the ground, and being able to pressure him like they did in the Super Bowl. The matchups on the interior of that Chiefs offensive line, honestly, it's even more favorable than it was a few months ago. You got Kingsley Suamataia at left guard, and then you got Trey Smith at right guard, and obviously Creed Humphrey's a great player. Trey Smith's a great player, but how are they going to handle Jalen Carter, Jordan Davis, and Moro Ojomo? I think there will be an opportunity for the Eagles to get pressure here.
Yeah, the left side of the line looks a little suspect. They got a rookie starting the left tackle, right? Josh Simmons.
Yeah, Josh Simmons, and he looked okay in the opener, but still, I mean, they're gettable for sure.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to kind of see how they deploy it, because Carter destroyed their entire game plan in the Super Bowl. It's amazing. I never saw a player who didn't record anything on the stat sheet dominate a football game the way he dominated. Like, he completely got in Mahomes' head. He derailed their offense. And let's face it, that Super Bowl, when you go back and watch it, and we've all done it numerous times, the Eagles' offense didn't do a lot. It was the benefit of a short field. It was the benefit of a defense that was living on the field, and they just hit a couple big plays. Coop had to return for a touchdown. It was the defense that, to me, won the Super Bowl.
Yeah, no, I agree. And I think they're going to have an opportunity to do that again, especially Jalen Carter. You think about like the way that interior line is set up with the Chiefs, like I'm curious to see if Jalen Carter lines up over Trey Smith most of the game, like he did in the Super Bowl, or if they move him to the other side. He really didn't play over on that side very much last season, but I think to really get the most out of him as a player, you need to be able to get him matchup specific and play him on both sides. So I want to see if he lines up over that left guard again, over Suamataia, because he is a tackle converted to guard, maybe somebody who isn't going to be able to deal with the suddenness and the power that Jalen Carter has off the ball. So I think it's going to be interesting. And then if he is on that side, do they slide to Jalen Carter and open up one-on-ones for Jordan Davis or Moro Ojomo? And then what can those guys do with those opportunities? So that's one of the things I'm going to be watching on that first series, is where they have Jalen Carter and kind of how the Chiefs deal with Jalen Carter on that interior. Because you're right. I think that the pressure aspect of things, especially when you aren't really as worried about them, ripping off explosives over the top, I think that that's really going to be a difference for the Eagles.
To me, the over-under on flash passes is going to be about 7.5. I mean, because they know they're going to have to get rid of the ball quick, and you could see it. And I'm curious to see how Vic's going to play, how he's going to play it, because you got to constrict on them. They're going to want to go underneath, and this team flows so well.
I was going to say,
football.
Yeah, I mean, the way the Eagles tackle, like the effort they have to the ball, we've talked about it. It makes it a little bit less daunting, especially when you're thinking it's like Hollywood Brown or, Tyquan Thornton. Like, you're not as worried about those guys getting the ball in space against the Eagles defense as you maybe would have been a couple years ago.
All right, let's bring in our man, the Films. All right, and let's have our version of a 3-shot. Good morning, Films. How are you, buddy?
What's happening, guys? Good morning.
We're excited, man. We're just kind of going over the game plan. Perfect time to bring you in. Nobody goes over game plans like you do, Franny Films. What happened to Franny? Disappeared. Where did he go? Where did you go, Franny? He disappeared into there. He is. There's that smile that we love. All right, we were just talking about, let's start on the defensive side of the ball. EJ and I were just talking about what Kansas City will try to do against the Eagles' defense, how they're going to handle Carter up front, right? Knowing that the left side of that line is the weak spot.
Yeah, I would expect that they're going to have a plan of attack for Jalen Carter because to me, if the Eagles decide that they're going to put Carter over Kingsley Suamataia, the new left guard, second-year player, second-round pick out of BYU in 2024, he struggled last week against the Chargers down in Brazil. So to me, if that's a matchup that the Eagles want to try and dictate, then the Chiefs have to have an answer for that. And so I think they would be mistaken to not try and slide Creed Humphrey that way. I do think the left side of that O-line is where you can get this Chiefs offensive group. Now, we know that, we saw in the Super Bowl, you can attack Jawan Taylor as well, their right tackle. But when you've got a rookie at left tackle, you've got a new starter at left guard, I do think that's an area where, whether it's Jalen Carter, if you're running stunts and twists with Jalix Hunt, sending blitzes with Zach Bond, Jahad Campbell, I think that's an area where they can get creative and really win some of those matchups and try and impact Mahomes.
How much, EJ, do you think we see as Darius Smith?
Yeah, I think you'll have some role, but he did mention he hasn't been in pads since January 14th when the Lions lost to the Commanders. So it has been a while for him, but I mean this guy's a veteran. He knows how to get himself ready, and defensive end's not a position that you really expect there to be a lot of strings attached or a long acclimation process. So I think he'll have a role, maybe not the full role that you'd envision for him in a few weeks' time, but I'd be surprised if he didn't play at all.
Franny, the Chiefs being down Rice and Worthy, knowing Andy, and look, this is the team that does not want to go 0-2. Andy does not want to lose the Eagles again. Does not enjoy that. That he had an eye on the Eagles throughout all of training camp, and I'm curious to see what he does, especially down his two top receivers and his biggest, outside threat in Worthy.
Yeah, I mean, look, 2 months ago when they were getting ready for this game, because you're thinking about the first 4 games of the season when you're getting into training camp, you think you're possibly going to have Rashee Rice. You certainly think you're going to have Xavier Worthy. You drafted a rookie in the 4th round in Jalen Royals as well. They're going to be down without Royals. So not having those 3 guys, that's 3 of your top 5 wide receivers going into the matchup. The run game did not look good last week, so you don't have that element right now offensively. So you're going to put a lot on Patrick Mahomes. They targeted Marquise Brown 16 times down in Brazil last week against the Chargers. I would imagine you'll see plenty of Marquise Brown, Hollywood Brown in this game. And then they're going to just try and rekindle, Travis Kelce. Last year it felt like it was like, all right, we're kind of putting him on ice and let him ascend as you get closer to the postseason. Well, now I feel like you almost kind of have to tap into Kelce early on in this season, and certainly in this game. If you are Andy Reid, if you are Matt Nagy and Patrick Mahomes, I think that they have to try and leverage Kelce as best they can. Try and see if they can win some of these matchups along the sideline. I would imagine they're going to do a lot of things where you're flooding the zone with lots of receivers to Adoree Jackson's side and just try and say, we're not going to make him right. If he's going to sink back with a vertical route, we're going to attack him in front. If he's going to get aggressive and try and take an intermediate route away, then we're going to go over the top of him. It's going to be up to the Eagles to be really sound across the board in their zone coverage concepts.
Yeah, and I heard that they like Thornton a lot as a down the field kid.
Yeah, he was a former second-round pick out of Baylor a few years ago. Played for our buddy Matt Rule down there, and this is a guy that went to New England. Didn't have a great start. Obviously, is not there anymore. So after just 2-3 years, but when you're looking at Thornton, he's kind of like you think like Mac Hollins, Eagles fans. You think of it like a big body, speed. It can be a gunner, can do some dirty work as a blocker. But he had a great camp. He was on the Super Bowl team on the practice squad, so he didn't play in the game, but had a great summer, had a great spring, and clawed his way onto the 53. And now they're gonna have to count on him. I mean, he had like a 30-yard catch on a slot fade last week against the Chargers. My guess is now, with Worthy out, he's gonna be a bigger part of the game plan for them this week.
EJ, let's continue with the Eagles defense. Let's look at it from Eagles standpoint when it comes to the linebacking core. With Bond, and I'll tell you, the kid I love him. I mean, I love watching him. I love How are they? Because the Chargers, Freddie said it, the Chargers really clamped down on the Chiefs' run game. And people don't think it, but trust me, Andy is a believer in the run. He always had wanted to throw early and run late. That was always his way. And I know he's going to try to run the football. Eagles' run defense, can it be like the Chargers last week?
Yeah, I definitely think so. I found it interesting in the locker room on Wednesday that Zach Bond was pretty unhappy, actually, with the way that the linebacking core played and the defense as a whole. He said that there was a lot of room for improvement. And I think he really was alluding to, in particular, in the run game. Obviously, we saw the flashes from those guys in pass coverage, being able to take away the middle of the field against those Cowboys tight ends. But yeah, no, I think that there is room for those guys to improve. And I think they could make a difference in the run game for them. I mean, again, they've got the physical tools to do it. I know Fran talked about wanting to see more from Jihad Campbell in the run game. I think it's only natural that he's going to progress in those areas. So, I do. I think it's going to be big for them to stop that Chiefs running. I mean, the Chiefs didn't, like Fran said, they didn't look great running the ball in week 1. I think that the Eagles will probably be in a better position to handle the run against them.
Franny?
Yeah, as EJ alluded to, I do have high hopes for Jihad Campbell getting a little bit better in that area, playing downhill, just kind of seeing the game. This was an area, again, he's only been playing off-ball linebacker 2 seasons, at Alabama. He was an edge rusher, outside linebacker when he first got there, and so it was only, to me, it was expected that he would be a little bit of a slow burn there, and it wasn't bad. It was just like you could see, like, all right, just a half step slow, and as he starts to see things a little bit faster, I think, especially with the coaching he's getting from Bobby King, from Vic Fangio, I would imagine he's going to continue to ascend in that area. And this Chiefs run game, I mean, they just have not been explosive whatsoever the last year and change. A lot of that, Pacheco was banged up for a lot of last year, but fully healthy coming into this year, he doesn't give them a lot of juice. Kareem Hunt at this stage of his career, he's not giving them a lot of juice. So if they're not going to get explosives in the pass game and you're not getting explosives in the run game, it's a tough way to live offensively.
You know what's weird? I'm surprised Andy didn't pick up a back that's got some giddy up, man. Who was the guy that went back to Baltimore? The kid from the East Carolina.
Keaton Mitchell.
Yeah, like a guy like that who's a complimentary back who's got a lot of speed that could just get quick through the hole as a change of pace back. And that Andy's usually like that, Fran.
Yeah, so they drafted a kid in the 7th round, and Brashard Smith out of SMU, who is a former receiver at the University of Miami and moved to running back last year at SMU and played well. Obviously got drafted. He is your typical scat back, movable chest piece. You move him around the formation on the touchdown to Travis Kelce last week against the Chargers. He was in jet motion. So they're going to move him around and do some things with him. He's not 4-3, whoa, explosive, but he's going to be their big play option. My guess is if this is a team that's starving for explosives, he's a guy that's going to give them that dimension. The fact that he played as much as he did last week does give me a little bit of an inkling that he's going to be a bigger part of their plans moving forward.
Could totally see that. All right, again, back to the Eagles offense. EJ, when you look at Jalen, let's look at his perspective now. We saw the blitz and, there was some – I think everybody agreed that he played very well in the opener. But, when it came down to – the pressures, then he's also not going to have Goedert over the middle. Let's take a look at it from Jalen's perspective.
Yeah, I mean, he talked a lot this week about the self-scouting process that they had over the weekend, obviously having the mini bye to start the year. And, he really harped on the collective, when talking about the lack of targets for the wide receivers. I think that's his word of the week, trying to really emphasize that it's about the end result more than the production from the outside guys. So, but I think that those outside guys, like we mentioned, are going to be important for him this week. Being able to punish those Spagnuolo blitzes, being able to take the top off of that defense. So, he was definitely more philosophical this week than he has been the last few weeks when talking about some of the stuff behind the scenes. But yeah, no, I think that I'd expect to see him I mean, we know how he is about these matchups. You know, he's had two of his best games of his career against Patrick Mahomes. And while he might not give it much oxygen going into the week, we know what type of competitor he is. We know what type of player he is. So I'm sure that he's up for this. I'm sure that he's up for the matchup. The familiarity that he has with this defense, I'm sure, will be front of mind as well. But yeah, no, he did. I think the thing that he really harped on this week was kind of not the thing he's always harped on, really, not caring how it looks.
Franny?
Yeah, I mean, we know as EJ said, like even if he doesn't talk about it, it's back there. It's definitely going to be on his mind. And look, I think that's one of the things that is a superpower for Jalen is like when they need him most, he's typically going to step up to the plate in those big games, those big moments. That's something that we have seen time and time again from him. Now, are there going to be frustrating moments throughout the course of the season? Yeah, and we saw that last year. But even just we talked about it earlier this weekend, like going back through the film, watching him last week against Dallas, I thought with what he was asked to do within the structure of that pass game, I thought he was nails. It just good decision after good decision after good decision. There are going to be chances in this game where, yeah, like maybe there's going to be that opportunity to be more aggressive down the field, take advantage of some of those matchups on the perimeter. The Dallas corners, honestly, are better than the corners from the Kansas City Chiefs from like 1 to 3 than what I think Trent McDuffie might be the best right now of that group. But when you get to corner 2 for Kansas City, corner 3 for Kansas City, corner 4 for Kansas City, they play some dime. Those are matchups the Eagles should be able to win. And so when I look at that, I do think that there's going to be opportunity there. The big thing will be handling the pressure scheme from Spags and then handling Chris Jones up front, whether it's a 4-man rush, 5-man rush, or 6-man rush. Chris Jones can still get after it. And so I think you still, if they're able to keep Jalen Hurts upright, I think that it's going to be bombs away here this week. I think there's going to be a lot of opportunities for some big plays against this defense.
We were talking, EJ and I were talking about AJ, and obviously you saw it. You saw the tape. We all saw the same thing. So much is going to be on him this week because, you know, that therein lies the answer to all that stuff.
I mean, honestly, like when I remember feeling this way leaving the Super Bowl, you know, in terms of like walking away from watching that tape of that game, everyone thought that the biggest mismatch was the Eagles' defensive front against the Chiefs' offensive line. And while that was true, that was certainly a big matchup. To me, the bigger mismatch was A.J. Brown and Devontae Smith. The Chiefs had no answers. They had no answers one-on-one for those guys on the perimeter. And we know, you know, A.J. Brown had a huge day. Devontae had a huge day. The dagger touchdown, all that. I just think that that's an area where the Eagles can certainly leverage that going into this game.
So, EJ, talk about Devontae for a second because we spent so much time focusing on AJ, and Devontae was quiet too in the first one.
Yeah, and you usually expect one of them to have a big game. Usually against man coverage, you're expecting AJ to get his and Devontae to sort of be the change up against zone coverages. We haven't heard from Devontae this week. I'm sure we probably will today. But yeah, no, I think it's hard. You know, we've talked about this game for a week and a half now, and it's like both things can be true, right? It's like the Eagles have to get their wide receivers more involved. You know, they need to involve those guys, especially even just for like the dynamics. You know, I have a piece up today about how AJ Brown sort of approached this week, and you know the conflict, how conflicted he's been. You know, trying to make sure that he isn't making waves or complaining about not getting the ball. But I mean, everybody knows it. Everybody knows he wants the ball. Everybody knows that he's not happy. He's not happy just getting shouted out for his blocking. He doesn't. Right. He thinks he can bring more to the table than that. So I think both of those guys, they're going to need to be involved more. But at the same time, what Fran says, I think this is just like the nature of a limited sample size, the nature of a 1-game window, and I think that this game is probably going to be one where that wide receiving core is a lot more in the forefront.
Franny, Chiefs, are they? I don't want to say done because that's too strong of a word, but have they declined substantially?
I think that when you looked at last year, they were what? They were like 14-0 in one-score games. We talked about this a couple weeks ago on the Eagles show, like in terms of just natural regression. I know EJ liked the over on the win total for the Chiefs for this reason. I was a little bit nervous about it just because like you can't do that again. You can't live that way week after week after week. And then last week showed that they lost their first one-possession game in like 2 or 3 years this past week against the Chargers. It's just, it's a very tough way to live. So I think when you're looking at this Kansas City Chiefs team, I wouldn't say, to your point, like to say they're done is
Right.
probably too far. But I do think that they're it's going to be a little bit of an uphill climb, more than maybe we are accustomed to seeing. When you've got Patrick Mahomes, you got that defense. There's going to be some volatility there. They're going to create big plays, but until they get all these receivers back, until they find that magic sauce with the run game, until that offensive line is fully up to speed on the left side, yeah, it's going. There's going to be some volatility, I think, with this team right now.
All right, EJ, give me a selection. And how do you see the game going?
Yeah, I originally had this as an Eagles loss going into the season, and I was really tempted to not like stray from that, because usually my philosophy is it's been 1 week, don't overreact to week one. But seeing the Chiefs, like how decimated they are at receiver, the lack of juice because again, the guys they're missing right now, the lack of juice they have on the perimeter, it's hard for me. And, seeing the way the defense played against the Chargers as well, it's hard for me to pick against the Eagles in this one. I'll make up the loss somewhere else. So I think I'm going to go Eagles. Let's say Eagles 27, Chiefs 17. I think this might be a comfortable win for the Eagles.
Franny?
Yeah, I do like the Eagles to win this one. I mean, Patrick Mahomes has never gone 0-2. He's never lost 3 straight. So there would be a first time for both of those things to happen here. But I think the Eagles go in, and I think they handle business here. If I'm going to put a score on it, I'll go. I'm going to go Eagles 27, Chiefs 21.
27-21. Look at that, VJ. They both got the birds.
They're smart guys. That's why they're here at PHLY.
I like it, man. Good stuff, boys. Excellent breakdown. We cannot wait. 2 o'clock today. All kinds of games Sunday. It's going to be awesome. You guys are spectacular. Happy 2-year anniversary. You guys are the backbone of the staff. Thank you.
Thanks for having us, guys.
All right, EJ and Franny, and
that makes me feel good.
Yeah, I mean, I think you get that sound breakdown. Well, we'll dive deeper with it with Baldy, and get into the little Packers with both Mike Garafolo and Baldy are coming up next hour. But first, let's get some picks for Sunday. La Brain.
Nice. He's not here yet.
Oh,
I think I don't know. If you look at the rosters, the Eagles just seem like they have a better roster from top to bottom.
I mean,
you got Mahomes. You got Mahomes and Andy. But I think we said that going into the Super Bowl as well. Like, the Eagles are just a better roster.
Yes. Especially when you're down your top 2 weapons.
Mm-hmm.
You're down your top 2 weapons. That's going into it, man. That hamstrings any. And the run game is not special. Like, you can't even lean into the run game. I think that's an issue.
Yeah, it's
good. If you're Kansas City,
Mahomes may be the leading rusher on Sunday. I mean, he may have been. I think he was last game.
Yeah.
I think Franny was right too about going downfield a little bit.
I see that all day long.
The Chiefs gave up almost 10 yards an attempt, which was towards the bottom of the league last week. They're having
because when you blitz, it's all about making you pay, right? Like, listen. I've known Steve, I know Spags a million years, and that's the MO of his defenses, which
NASCAR
is
package.
that's the MO, right? Like, he's going to come after you, and usually, like, he's got McDuffie, but that's it. Like, he lost some talent there, and when you got some greenhorns in the background in the back end, you're going to be vulnerable. Now, Herbert made him pay last week. Can Jalen do the same? That's going to be to me going to be the big deal.
The Chargers seemed to do a lot of play action last week too. That was pretty effective. Do you think the Eagles? That's not really their bag. The play action. Do you think we see more of that this week?
I don't know. I don't think so.
Because I think the Chiefs gave up I think it was 15 yards an attempt when they were in play action, when the Chargers did play action.
But how many times did I bring up to EJ and Franny about play action? Firstly, he's never going to be under center. So it's not like Jalen's going to be under center. So, you got your read options, but I don't see a lot of play action. That's not what I don't think Jalen's comfortable in that spot.
Right.
So I don't see that changing. It's why I've been calling for it, because I think I want to see it. It's when you have Saquon Barkley, it's just a natural order of things. But if he's not comfortable, he's not comfortable.
Yeah, and if they're blitzing a lot too, the play action holds people up for a second, a millisecond, which is
You
everything.
don't have to convince me on it. Again, like that's not.
I'm hoping Patullo's listening, man.
You
Yeah,
can't
but it's
change.
not Patullo. It's not.
Jalen.
Yes, it's not Patullo. It's not. You don't think it's 101, right? 101. I want play action. I got Saquon Barkley, play action. It goes hand in hand.
Yeah.
But if the quarterback doesn't want to do it, then what are you going to do? I mean, Kellen Moore had the same. Listen, I think Jalen bails you out in so many different ways because of his legs, right? And we know what kind of, he's a great deep ball thrower down the field. We know his strength of his attributes. But the one thing he doesn't want to do is if he's not comfortable, he's not going to, it's what Baldy was talking about against pressures, that he's not going to throw to a spot. Right? He's not going to do that. He's not going to force the ball in the harm's way, which you can make the argument is a good thing. But either way, he's not going to do that, and he doesn't like being under center. He spent his whole college career in the shotgun. And that's not who he is.
It's been working.
You can't change the sauce in your best dish.
That's good sauce. That's good sauce now. Sauce knowledge. All right, let's take care of some business, would you? While we wait for the brain to join us. All right, let's talk about Xfinity Sports. Oh yeah, buddy. You're gonna get.
You coming over this weekend?
No, I'm not coming.
Come on,
over.
come watch the game with me.
No way. 4:00.
Yeah, you just got to hold the one pair of rabbit ears up.
Yeah. I love him. He's a great fan, but his setup, it's a mess.
Yeah, you're not lying.
Lagging, buffering, switching between apps and trying to find a game. He claimed he was, I know you're a big fan, so that's not what it is. But I don't want you to be fan fished. Invite other people over. So if you call yourself a football fan, you got to have Xfinity. You see it right there on the screen, man. It's the ultimate sports destination. You can find the best games, your favorite teams all in one place. And the way I watch is next level. It's the perfect fan flex. I got the action right in my living room. Plus, Xfinity's best picture and sound with enhanced 4K. So it's clear. It feels like I'm in the stadium. Like you hear it, dude. It's unbelievable. On top of that, you get real-time notifications, live stats right on your television. The best seat in the house every time. Next game day, make sure that your big fan isn't a big fail. Learn more, Xfinity.com. Xfinity, imagine that. Restrictions apply. Now let's talk about the Bet Park Sportsbook online casino app as we enter a big sports weekend. What do we got? What's the line at right now, my man?
Birds minus 1.5 points over 47.
47. I think it's an under.
I kind of think it's an under.
I think it's an under, all the way under.
I think the Birds are going to put up points, but I think the Chiefs are going to struggle to score.
Yeah, I don't even know that the Eagles are going to put up a ton of points. I think the Eagles win, but I think it's a lower scoring game.
27-10.
Yeah, somewhere around that.
Yeah.
I just think it's a
I
lower.
think the Birds put up 27-30, right around there.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know about 30. I think south of 30, but I think again, to me it's an under. I think you're going to look and they're going to try to run the ball. I think Kansas City's going to look to kind of have like a lot of short throws, which will keep the clock moving. I see it. I agree under. And what about Fightins?
Fightins are minus 129.
Minus 129. All right.
Yeah, that's a healthy spot.
Well, you got the unknown in
Bueller.
Bueller.
His strikeout total is 3.5.
Bugle.
Oh, it's Bueller versus Michael Lorenzen.
Yeah.
Oh man.
Yeah. The Lorenzen.
Over. What's the over tonight?
Yeah. What is the total there?
Let me see.
That does feel like an over.
Yeah.
In a big way.
Over is 9.
9?
Yeah.
All right. Yeah, I like the over there. Listen, check this out. My team at Bet Parks Online Sportsbook Casino, great offer for new users. Download the app, open an account, get up to $50 back on your first sports bet if it doesn't win. Plus, you'll get a BetParks bonus box with BetParks coins, 50 bonus spins on the BetParks Collect 'em online slot game.
Let's collect them.
So you get the 50 BetParks coins and the 50 spins.
I like the 50 spins.
You like the 50 spins? I hear you. Bet all the games, all the props you want right there on the app. For full terms and conditions, visit betparks.com. There's always another way to win. Got to be 21, located in PA, New Jersey, Michigan, Maryland, Ohio. If you have a gambling problem, please call 1-800-GAMBLER. All right. Brought to us by BetParks. Here's the brain.
Brain.
Red the Brain Finder.
Oh, good morning, Brain. Top of the morning to you, buddy.
Top of the morning, you guys as well. How are you?
up, Brain?
Terrific. Brain on the Xfinity guest line, brought to us by BetParks. Let's get quickly, because we don't have
Yes,
a
sir.
lot of time this morning. But listen, I love the Packers last night. I think the Packers showed you how real they are.
Yeah, Anthony, I know we discussed it. I know you were totally in concurrent agreement. I think the Packers are probably gonna be like maybe like we saw last year from Detroit. I expect them to absolutely be the front running team for the Super Bowl. But again, that and winning the Super Bowl are totally two different things. But I think this team is going to be a tough out. You know, they have a really good defense, and I know you like the quarterback. If the quarterback's just decent, this is going to be a very hard team to beat. But they don't really have. I mean, their receiver depth is potentially a little shaky. They haven't used their first round pick Golden yet. When I look at weaknesses of the team, not an explosive offense. I really do think Kraft.
I think him on the field, like he's on the field a lot. Like he got 2 targets last night, didn't catch either of them. But when he's on the field, I think it kind of helps them because you have to account for that deep threat. So it does create some space.
Kraft is the guy that I think is their best offensive player outside of Jacobs. I think he's actually unbelievably underrated.
I agree.
How many tight ends average 14 yards a catch?
Yeah.
No one. He did. I think he's good, and I think the defense is the best in the NFL. But we'll see. But I think this is going to be a really hard team to beat. I think they absolutely have as good a chance as anyone to go in the Super Bowl. But I'm not telling you something you don't know. You already know that.
All right, let's go to Sunday. We're going to take a look at the NFL card.
Let's do it.
Chiefs, Eagles. We begin with that. Eagles, a slight favorite. How you feeling?
Yeah, it's funny. I heard you and VG talking about the game. Like the game right now, looking at 1.5 for the Eagles. Stay away from me, Anthony. I just not a game I'm playing, but I do lean under. I know you guys were just talking about that. Because I don't know if either team gets to 24, which theoretically 24, 23 gets you to that 47 number. Chiefs obviously extremely hampered with their offense. Although I did see, I'm not sure if he's going to play, that Worthy was at practice. I don't know. You know, we'll see if he does or doesn't. That would be a big thing to me if he plays. But if he is out, I think it's going to be hard for this team to get in that mid 20 area. And I think the Eagles are going to struggle to do that too against a defense that I do respect. I lean under here. That's my favorite play in this particular game.
All right, let's talk. Let's go around the league. Some decent matchups as always. Bengals and Jaguars is an interesting one because I kind of like where the Jaguars are at this year.
Well, I get Jaguars are a team I definitely have a lot of futures invested in the Jaguars. This line's sitting at 3.5, but here's the thing, Anthony. And by the way, first week, there was a few teams that looked god-awful. Carolina looked atrocious. Tennessee looked atrocious. And the third team that looked atrocious was Cincinnati. They may have looked more atrocious than any of them, which is crazy to say, but they got, on a scale of 1 to 100 in luck to win the game. I won't even say a 99.9. They had a million things go their way to be able to win that game. 7 yards of offense in the second half. Got, in essence, 4 turnovers. They still won by 1 point. Almost a miracle. But that being said, I'm going to give them some grace. And that one thing we know is that this has been the best offense team in football the last few years, more or less. I'm not going to base on one game and just throw that all in the trash. I think this line's a little low. I thought it'd be a tad higher, but I'm not going to play it. Because I do respect Jacksonville. Pass for me.
All right. How about Giants and Cowboys? Are you going to go back to your Giants? Well,
Anthony, I did. It's my biggest bet of the week. I just thought, look, well, I'll tell you what, no. Hear me out before you.
No,
hear you.
I just,
Hear me out. I'm
you're
going
a
to show my
Giants
work.
man. I know how.
I'm going to show my work.
Yeah.
Would you guys admit clearly, not even an opinion, that Washington's better than Dallas? Clear, like not even like, let's just go to the next question.
Yeah.
Basically the same line. I took 7, but it's even at 6 or whatever.
Right.
That line was about 6 last week. It's basically the same line as last week, and I'm getting a far worse team. Now, I'm going to say the Giants, I'm going to give them one more chance to show that, the quarterback isn't the worst player in the NFL. I actually think the Giants have more good players than Dallas on their team. I'd actually rather have their roster than Dallas's roster. I will gladly take this many points. Again, who is Dallas to be laying that many points? Dallas easily win the game. Doesn't mean they're going to cover.
Yeah, I hear you. I don't think
the line was 3, Anthony. The line was 3. The line was 3 before the Eagles Dallas game. This line went up basically 3. I don't think it's warranted to go up that much.
Yeah, listen. I don't really disagree. I like, to me, I would stay away from it. I would not. Like, you could never get me to back Wilson. I think Wilson is awful, and I could never back. And I thought the Dallas front played well, even without Mike.
They played a good game.
They played a good game. They stuffed Saquon, and if they stuffed the Giants' run game, what do they do?
Again,
he can't move.
I think that Dallas, again, I think this line should have been like 3. That's how far off I am on it. I'm just giving you the matchups.
I mean, I hear you. Yeah. I agree. I'll never argue with you when it comes to the line and movements and, like, it inside out. I'm just giving you the matchup. Like, to me, the one matchup that stands out is I think the Cowboys defense can take away the Giants' run game, and then what do?
Well, what do? I mean, I think that, again, if Wilson plays as bad as he played last week, I would agree with you. I mean, I'm being serious. I'm not being funny. I would agree with you. But again, I don't think he's going to be that bad again. I mean, I just, my opinion, we'll see how it plays out. I just think this line was too high. I think it was real value taking the Giants.
All right. Mikey Garafolo just chimed in. Just be forewarned, he's not on the same side, and he knows the Giants pretty good inside and out. Bears and Lions.
This was actually, I had a big bone in this look-ahead line I did not understand at all. This line opened at 4, and I hammered Detroit. This is before either team played in week 1, and I just didn't understand this line. Now we see both teams were disappointing, and the line's where I thought it should be. I thought it should have been 6.5. Right now on the Bet Park site, it's 6. I laid 4, so again, it's 6. I'm still going to lean Detroit. Not a bet for me because I thought the line should have been between 6 and 6.5. Lean Detroit. I don't think Detroit's as bad as they showed last week at all. But I will remember last year when these two teams played twice, Chicago was right there with them. Chicago's actually hung with this team, so maybe it is a matchup thing. Lean Detroit, but not a play at the current number.
Colts Broncos, fascinating. Danny Dimes, who looks so good with the Colts. A slight home dog. I think they win the game.
Anthony, this would be like a pretty good comp. Marco Fultz going off for 50. You'd be like, what?
Oh, that's great.
Giants fans, listen, I actually feel your pain on that one. No one has criticized Daniel Jones probably more than me, because when people were talking to him being a Hall of Fame player, an all-pro player, I can't even tell you. If I told you how many arguments I have with Giants fans, them telling me that Daniel Jones was not only good, was great. Whenever I die, I would have been 10 years older. Just the amount of arguments I had about Daniel Jones. That being said, he played really well. I'll give him credit. I like Indianapolis here. I like him a lot more in teasers, Anthony. You could tease them up to getting like 7.5, 8. Yeah. But my favorite bet in this game, give me, give me Liberty or give me death. I was saying, give me under 43 or give me more under 21.5 in the first half. Because to me, I would be very surprised if either team gets to the mid-20s. I think this is under. Denver's going to run the ball a lot more in this game than they did in last game. Coach Payton was very adamant. He threw the ball way too much with Bo Nix. Really like the under here. I think this game, remember, write this one down. You can laugh at me. Probably will be wrong, but laugh at me. I'll say it's 6-3 halftime. Really like the under in this game.
No, I listen. I think that's smart. I do. I think it's sharp. Vikings Falcons Sunday night is a great game, man. That's an awesome game.
Shit. Ah.
I think that was Mikey. I think that was Mikey Garafolo.
Is he okay? Oh, I don't know what just happened there.
I don't know. That was
all right. I want to make sure. I was like, that's more
my
important.
bad.
Much more important. What's up, Mike? That's much more important.
I just hit my head on my TV over here, and then I hit the shoulder. Oh my God! Sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt.
No,
it was not a
listen,
reaction. It was not a reaction to any of your plays. Let me get out of here.
That was a
Sorry.
15-yard late hit.
That's a great moment. You got to isolate that,
like,
man, and tag him.
I was like, we have to pause to make sure he's okay.
Yeah.
Go on. Yeah, listen, Vikings Falcons. This is an interesting game, Anthony. A lot of people who I work with, who I respect a lot, every sharp is on Atlanta.
Yeah.
I personally think it's the right number.
Yeah.
Out of respect for some of those people, I did play a little Atlanta getting 5. It's now down to 3.5, which is what I thought it should have been, right at 3.5. Again, a lot of sharp people on Atlanta getting 3.5. Wouldn't be shocked to see it go to 3 because of how much people have just been hammering this. Every sharp has been hammering Atlanta. To me, it's not as obvious as that at all. I think Minnesota's the better team. I think they actually do have a legitimate home field. One of the few teams I say does. For me, it's a pass.
Any other games, props, any other things that you love?
Yeah, well, I'll give you. It's funny. God, it's funny. The props. I'm trying to think of some of the props I had. I like Dak over 240. I think it was like 244 passing yards. I just still don't trust that Dallas running game. I know Javonte actually played relatively for him well against the Eagles, but I don't see. I always
the Giants. Giants got a good defense.
I like Daniel Jones under 2. It was 206 his passing yards against Denver. I mean, to me, Denver's pass defense is elite.
Yeah.
I do not think Daniel Jones will be at 200. I think it's 206. I think Bo Nix was in the 220s, going by memory. I bet his under. Again, I'm expecting a lot more runs from Denver than we saw in the first game. I really believe that. Took DeAndre Swift under like 59.5, I think it was. Don't think he's going to get 60 yards rushing against a pretty good usual Detroit run defense. Plus, it's a game they, in theory, should be trailing. Games themselves, the big if now, because I really like this game, but now I got to reevaluate. If Brock Bowers plays, I like the Raiders against the Chargers. Now, all the respect in the world for the Chargers, but that line, in my opinion, should not be 3.5 if we have a healthy Brock Bowers. And it was priced initially like Bowers as if he's going to play. He missed practice yesterday, which is usually a big day. If he plays, I think getting 3.5 is definitely too high of a number, and I would absolutely recommend the play on the Raiders in the game. And I think will be a 50-50 game, and I'll take the 3.5. That extra half means everything.
All right, I like it, my brother. Always great to see you, Brain. Have a great weekend. Good luck. We'll talk to you on Monday.
Wait, and real good. So wait, Mike's picking the Cowboys with the line?
Well,
No. I just can you hear me
come
now?
Come on in, Michael.
All right.
Let's get Michael up. Can we get him up? Hold on.
My point was like, at this point, back in the Giants is like touching the hot stove over and over and wondering why the hell your hand is burnt. Like you ain't going until I see something different. Woo, man.
Yeah, the quarterback.
Same old Giants. Hey, there I am.
There you go. You all right?
You see this?
Are you okay?
You guys see this? I'm wearing a glove when I put in the bet.
You need an oven. You need an oven mitt.
Yeah, I need an oven mitt. Yeah, I'm putting in the glove.
Good luck, Brain.
All right, man. Listen,
thanks,
guys,
buddy.
be good. Have a good weekend.
Appreciate
Bye, guys.
you, pal. There he is, the Brain, brought to us by the BetPark Sportsbook online casino app. And now, from the NFL Network, no one covers the league like this man on the Xfinity guest line, our brother, Mike Garafolo. Yeah. Michael, let's get right to the Chiefs injury real quick. Is Worthy playing? Because I thought he was out. And then
I don't think so.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think it's just, I think he's getting some work in, and he was just so heavily braced there. I don't know that for sure. I'm going to have to check today and really, Friday's the day where you can start to really get some answers on it. I mean, he may be ruled out or in, and we may know before that, but my hunch is maybe he'll be listed as questionable, and this could wind up being a head fake, but I'll know for sure. I'm surprised. It was not the word that we were getting early in the week. I'll put it to you that way.
Yeah, because I had heard early in the week that he was out.
Yeah.
Like, it was a bad spot. Where are the Chiefs right now? And when you look at them as a whole, and obviously we know the guys well, and we know them inside and out, and they don't want to start 0-2. It's the Super Bowl rematch. So all eyes watch.
Yeah.
But you're depleted.
Yeah, you are depleted. Now they felt good about, certainly when they had Worthy, their receiving core without Rashee Rice. I mean, once he comes back, they're going to feel really good about it, obviously. But that was coming into the season, something that was talked about like, well, if this had happened to us last year or the year before, this would have been devastating to not have Rashee for 6 weeks. Now we feel pretty good about the depth at the position. You didn't quite see it the way that I thought you'd see it against the Chargers. I did like the Chargers in that game, but I thought you'd see a more complete, more explosive offense. Mahomes took some shots. They feel like they're going to be back toward what they were, years ago when they had Tyreek Hill. And that's why we were speculating that Hill could be headed back to Kansas City. I mean, I think he's going to wind up being traded because I just don't see how this Miami season heads in the right direction. And then who's the team that needs it? Well, they need it. They've had visions of being that offense once again, and maybe it's going to have to be him that comes back. And then I think if you add that, you get Rice back at around that point, all of a sudden you're looking at a really explosive offense. That being said, I think a lot of people saw the week 1 game. Look, you're playing in Brazil, which anytime you're playing internationally, that makes it weird. You're playing a really good team with a really good defense.
Yeah.
I don't want to look at that and say, oh, what happened to the Chiefs? Like, I still think this is going to be a team that's going to threaten you offensively and be a really good overall team. And I think you add the home opener, the motivation. I feel like this is just a bad spot for the Eagles. I really do.
It's weird because it reminds me a lot of February, like going into it, where people were like, it's Kansas City, it's Mahomes, and the Eagles feel more talented. Like, what changes on the field, right? Like, Carter's back, right? Like, how are they going to handle that beast? Like, Eagles defense, like, the Chiefs are going to run a lot of underneath stuff, and the Eagles defense flows to the ball really, really well. They tackle really, really well. I just don't know what changes on the field.
Because, and during that game, I was, a couple of personnel guys, were like, hey, this Eagles team's having problems on the back end. Adoree Jackson being one of them, obviously. And, and I had one guy like, this team can't cover. That's what he was saying. I was like, all right, well, let's see when you guys play what happens in that regard, if you can exploit these things. That was an issue week 1. Now, again, you got Jordan Davis playing, what was it, 50? I mean, he played a record number of snaps percentage-wise. And if Jalen Carter's there. Yeah, and if Jalen Carter's there, obviously that's disrupting things, and maybe that hides a lot of that stuff. I mean, you saw it with Green Bay last night. The way that Keyshawn Nixon, Baldy did a great breakdown, but the way that Keyshawn Nixon was able to play, knowing that the guys up front are disrupting, that allows you to start playing tighter and taking more challenges up front. So if you can get that a little bit, now obviously maybe your cornerbacks will get a chance. Offensively, I don't want to be in a spot where I need Jalen to have 20-yard scrambles to really convert some stuff, which they did. And kudos to him. I'm not knocking him by any stretch, but like you got to start playing a little bit more in rhythm. And, all of a sudden I tend to, and this is why I was, with Brain, the NFL season can be weird as you get into October, November, where all of a sudden you'll have a result on Sunday and be like, whoa, where did that come from? You very rarely get that week 1 to week 2. It's usually pretty consistent because teams are still coming off whatever they were in training camp. Other teams trying to find themselves. That's why I loved Green Bay last night. I said that performance in week 1 is just going to carry over, especially on a short week. Yeah. And Washington was a little sloppy against the Giants. So I'm putting this all together, and I'm like, I'm having a hard time getting past some of those key points for the Eagles.
Is there, what was it? What did they say about the Eagles' offense and handling the blitz? Baldy was interesting because Baldy pointed out that once again the offense did not perform well against the blitz. Even though I thought Jalen played a really solid game and hurt everybody with their legs, but then the offense did go into a spell, like a couple spells, and Saquon never got loose.
I mean, you pieced it all together. Saquon never got loose. AJ Brown had one target in the fourth quarter. I was looking because I honestly, it's for selfish reasons. I have him on my fantasy team, and I'm like, why is he not throwing to AJ? And I kept looking to see
he wasn't winning
because a lot of times I'll be like, he was open 5 times. It wasn't a lot of that. That hamstring.
I saw the tape. He wasn't winning. No.
Yeah, that hamstring could still be an issue for him. And a lot of times maybe it's a mental thing and you don't open it up all the way and you play the one game. Now all of a sudden you do, especially if you're getting the extra rest off of week 1. Got to get him involved early. Got to get him involved often. I think that'll change a lot of things for them. So yeah, I think that was a big part of the issue against the Cowboys.
So let's go kind of around the league. Green Bay, because I love them.
Yes.
They're nasty. Or I was going to say, this year's Lions, that they're the story of the regular season.
Might be. They are really good. Jeff Hafley's the defensive coordinator. He's really good.
Yeah.
I always thought LaFleur was one of the best coaches in the league since he's gotten the role. Yeah.
I mean, look what he does with Kraft. We're talking about how good Kraft is, but like this scheming him open, like his schemes work, man. He knows how to draw it up.
Well, that's what that is. When you see, I mean, he's obviously Kraft is an athlete, he's a gifted athlete. I'm not going to say, but when a guy is that wide open, the coach made that happen, right? Yes. Like that's an unbelievable job because once he gets the ball in those scenarios, he does a great job after the catch. He's always done a great job after the catch. So I like him a lot. Yeah, for part of the Micah Parsons trade, they felt so good about the rest of their defensive line that they said, well, we're going to get rid of Kenny Clark. Fantastic player. Dallas needs him. It's going to really help Dallas upgrade their middle. But we've got other guys that we feel good about. So we're staying here, or maybe a slight drop, but we're getting a great improvement on the edge with Parsons. And you saw how disruptive he was last night, holding penalties, disrupting the rhythm on a lot of other plays. And he's, still working his way into top form there. So the quarterback is the most important thing in this league. And the next most important thing is disrupting them. And that's why the Packers did it. I like that roster a lot. It's early. At this point last season, the Saints looked amazing. So you don't want to get too nuts about it.
Right.
But there's a lot to like there.
No, I know. I feel the same way. How about Washington? Where's Washington at?
I had my concerns coming in at. I really did. And not just this intangible, well, it's year 2, so they're going to regress. Or, there's a lot of Debo coming in. Let's just say San Francisco was like, all right, I think it's time to move on. And he wanted to move on, right? It was time to go there. So now he goes and resets there. Laramie Tunsil, I mean, who gives up a franchise left tackle in this business, right? If they still felt like he was at the top of his game and still had several good years left. Now they're going for it. I get it because they haven't paid Jaden Daniels yet. That'll change things. We've seen it with the Eagles, whether it was Wentz or Hurts. Before that contract, you really try to go for it, and that's what they're doing. I mean, we ran a thing the other day that they're the oldest roster in the league. That doesn't mean they're a bunch of old geezers. It's that they're at that point where you can bring in these veterans here and really, really try to go for it. So from a schedule standpoint, there's a lot of, and I know Mike North with the NFL, I did ask him about this after they made the schedule. He says, we don't feel like this is a thing, but there's a lot of rest disparity on that. They've got like 4 games against teams coming off buys. There's a lot of questions to be had there when it comes to the Washington Commanders. So not overreacting, but it didn't look clean.
No, and I didn't. Speak of the schedule, they had the weird schedule where the Eagles play the Giants twice in 3 weeks, and they play Washington twice in 3 weeks at the end. Like, why wouldn't you just flop those? I just don't understand it.
Yeah, I mean, there's always a reason why, because it's never going to be a perfect schedule. There's just too much going on. There's too many outside factors outside of just the NFL itself, concerts and whatnot. So it's never going to be perfect. You're going to have those clusters. Didn't the Eagles have it last year with they played the Giants?
Yeah.
No. Yeah. I'm trying to remember. Yeah. So you're gonna see a lot of those. You're gonna see a lot of those clusters around the NFL. To have two of them like that is kind of weird. You just hope it plays to your advantage the way it's lined up.
All right, let's go elsewhere around the NFC. Teams that you like in the NFC. Let's go to the South because Atlanta's got a big one against Minnesota Sunday night, and Tampa looks. I mean, Ibuka was terrific, and it's another weapon for Baker. If that offensive line gets better with Wirfs when he comes back, I mean, it's going to be nasty.
Yeah. Yeah, Godwin coming back in a couple of weeks. Wirfs coming back. I always felt like Tampa was going to be, and they were in the right division for it, was going to be that team where the first quarter of the season, just trying to get through. Like, this is almost an extended preseason. Let's just try to survive, stay healthy, win some games, obviously, which they did the other day. I love Todd Bowles. I think he's doing a fantastic job. I heard a lot of good things about, you haven't seen the offense open up, but I heard a lot of good things about Josh Grizzard, their offensive coordinator, as soon as he got the job. And frankly, the previous two have gotten their head coaching jobs off of being the Bucs offensive coordinator, which I was super disappointed with the Panthers. That was awful in week one. I mean, the way that they played down the stretch last season, Bryce Young having that like in-season renaissance the way that he did. I said, oh, watch out for those Panthers. They could come out of the gate hot. And I know people are high on the Jaguars, but I think they're over their skis. And then the Panthers have that awful performance. I was super disappointed with that one. So they don't look like they're going to be a threat. New Orleans certainly isn't. And Atlanta, I just something not feeling right since I covered a couple of their games last year. I'm just not. I mean, I like Penix. I do. I just feel like the whole thing doesn't really fit. They're trying to make.
I mean, why? Because I don't understand it. I like Penix a ton. I love Bijan. I love Drake London. Pitts, I don't know. I look at that team. They got receiver depth. I think they should be better. I don't know why.
And a lot of times that's going to come back. If it doesn't change, like that comes back to the coaching, right? And that's where the owner goes, I don't understand.
Yeah.
We made this move. We did this great move at quarterback. We got all these guys. They did lose Caleb McGarry, their right tackle, which is their blindside protector coming into the season. So that changed a lot of things. They just paid him. Before that, we saw a couple of offensive tackles get paid and then get hurt. Rashawn Slater, the other one. So that was obviously an enormous one there. But I just like, sometimes I look at their personnel and it's hard to define, but it's just like, it doesn't feel cohesive.
Yeah.
It doesn't feel like a team, and it feels like pieces. So something's got to change there soon.
All right, let's go to the North. Besides the Packers, Minnesota. JJ looked balled out, man, after a rough first half. Balled out in the fourth quarter, especially, and in a difficult environment, and he looked good.
Yeah. I think that's kind of going to be JJ. He's sort of, I don't mean to bring up a guy a face that you hate, Eli Manning. But he's sort of, I think, going to be, if he's successful in the NFL, sort of like Eli, where it's going to be ugly at times, and it's going to be 3/4 of ugly. And then when it matters, making the right play. I mean, that's kind of sort of who he was in college. He wasn't asked to do a ton. He's not maybe necessarily going to be 4,500 yards, 40 touchdowns, that kind of guy. He's going to be a winning football kind of guy, and a winning football at the right time. I mean, you come off of that game the other night and you go, okay, Caleb looked amazing early when it was scripted and everything that they had practiced and worked on and planned coming in. JJ looked horrible at that point. Late in the game, it flipped. What would you rather have? In this league, I'd rather have the guy that's making chicken salad, right? Instead of the guy that early on is doing what he needs to do when it's coming to the script. So I thought coming off of that, and I going back to Caleb and Ben Johnson, it's the one thing I said when he was hired. I said, this is an interesting mix of personalities, because everything's gonna be great in the offseason, training camp, and all that stuff. He'll be hard on them and be pushing them, but come game day, Ben Johnson flips. I've seen him on the sideline. I've seen the way he's interacted with Goff. And Goff does a great job because Goff's a very even-keeled type of guy, doesn't really ruffle him a lot. I've seen Goff where he's calling into the headset. Ben's calling a play, and Goff is going, just giving him a signal. Relax, I got this. Chill out. With Caleb, it might be a little too much. And I'm watching the body language. I'm watching the facial expressions. My man was really holding back some stuff the other night, and that's not going to last very long.
That's interesting, man. That is so fascinating. So it's the Ben Johnson Bowl on Sunday. Now, are the Lions Was it more a product of the Packers, right, or the Lions? Is that line just too shaky to run that offense?
The offensive line,
Yeah.
you're saying?
Yeah.
They lost Frank Ragnow.
I
They lost
know.
an all-pro center.
Yeah, an all
Like,
world.
and people were like, and I know how it is in the fantasy football world. You're looking at skill positions. When that happened, on top of losing both coordinators, which I think they're going to be okay defensively, but my question was the drop-off on the offensive side of the ball from a coordinator standpoint. Everything we were worried about with the Detroit Lions manifested itself in week 1. So I was it. Yeah. I mean, I think if you're the Lions, you come away from last night, you go, look, rookie of the year sensation. He was kept in check. They could, so let's take a deep breath. We'll see them again, but let's not overreact. But Ant from the outside is a guy who's not necessarily sugarcoating things. Yeah. I came into the season with concerns about the Lions. I'm still there.
Yeah. How's this game? This game's gonna be wild. Like I'm curious.
Which one?
Bears Lions. Like how's it?
Oh yeah. Yeah, it's good. I think Ben's gonna pull out some tricks.
Yeah.
Which he should.
Yeah.
Because we didn't see a whole lot of that the other night. We saw some of that ghost motion and those kinds of things that kind of keep the guys in check. Maybe he's holding it for week 2. I don't know, or maybe he wants Caleb to get comfortable before they start to really unveil. By the way, how about that? I guess it was maybe third quarter or maybe fourth quarter. He's got DJ Moore wide open.
I know.
And he just sails
Dude,
him.
it was wide open.
Dude.
Oh my God.
Can't miss that. You can't miss that.
I wonder about him, man. His eyes aren't up, man. He doesn't see it sometimes.
Well, he also does a lot of which is what early in the game, you saw the escapability and the quick twitch and the way that he throws some stuff. It's like, oh, it's great.
Yeah.
He's able to deliver footballs while his hips are facing that way. And you got to do some of that. Mahomes is throwing left-handed in this league. Like, you got to do that. But when you don't have to do it, where are your fundamentals? Where are your feet? Where are your hips?
Right.
And you could see he was off that way, and he was kind of away, and the ball sailed on him.
Yeah.
Oh, that was a killer.
Yeah, that was a killer. Out west, I mean, you like anybody except I don't like San Fran. I just look at him and
I know you don't. We I know you don't.
I just don't. See
we disagree on that.
Yeah, so you like him, huh?
Well, they got to get healthy, and I don't know about Ayuk when we're going to see Ayuk because that's a big part of it.
Like, that's a big piece of. I've never been in love with the quarterback, so I'm always going to kind of be half-hearted with them. I agree when it's all working. I love the coach. I mean, the coach is one of the best.
Yeah.
But I look at that personnel and I go, eh. And now without Kittle, I don't know what you do.
But I'm gonna see. I'm gonna. If I'm wrong, I'm gonna lean on the injuries. You know that.
Yeah. Well, you should.
I know.
Get it. Yeah.
Yeah, I know. But I think there's a lot of good young players. I mentioned this in the air the other day. So I was in training camp in August, and we were talking about how many young guys and rookies they've got playing on defense. Upton Stout, their cornerback, the nickel guy. Micah Williams is starting, and they got a couple other guys, like 3 or 4 other rookies. And they were like, well, the good thing is early in the season, 4 of our first 6 games are away. And I was like, you mean home? They're like, no, 4. I was like, how's that a good thing? And they go, well, think about it. When your defense is on the field and you're on the road, it's quiet. So we need those guys to be able to hear each other, and that'll help the communication early so that when we're playing at home late in the season, they can't hear each other. They'll have gotten a lot more reps and a lot more stuff under their belt. So I think with this team, if they're going to do what I think they're going to do, 1, they got to get healthy and stay healthy. Got to stop with this nonsense. But 2, a lot of these young guys that maybe the average fan doesn't know about yet are going to have to come up big.
All right, let's go AFC. First of all, can the Bills and the Ravens play every week? I mean, is that just the greatest football ever?
I'd like to see some defense, which, by the way, Ed Oliver played a fantastic game, defensive player of the year type stuff.
Yes.
I don't think he's going to wind up playing this week against the Jets, so that's going to be a big loss for Buffalo. I think that Bills-Jets game is going to be tight in large part. I'm covering that game in large part because they're always, not always, but most of the time, the Jets, even when they're bad, play them tight. And that was a pretty good Jets performance the other day. I was super impressed with Justin Fields.
Fields played his ass off. Played really well, man.
Yeah,
the way he
Pittsburgh
defense is good. I don't care what anybody says. They're not a bad.
They were so pissed.
Yeah.
And they were so pissed. TJ Watt, we get him one-on-one. We've gotten him a few times one-on-one after games. And he's usually really good in that setting. He was giving me like 3 to 5 word answers. I was like, what's up? And as I said, you know what? I guarantee you, he's like, we won, but this defense played like crap.
Yeah.
Which is, maybe sort of half them, but also a big part of what the Jets did. And for Fields, I covered a game. It was a Thursday night game a couple of years ago. He played in Washington for Chicago. And DJ Moore had a ton of yards, and like he was
I remember
really good that night. Yeah, he was really good that night.
Yeah.
The other day, I thought he probably ran the quarterback position as well as I've ever seen him run. And good for him. I like Justin Fields.
Yeah,
I think he's gotten an unfair shake.
I like him too. I root for Fields. I like him.
Yeah. So I think that game's going to wind up being tighter than a lot of people think. Bills Jets. But yeah, AFC wise.
How about Rodgers, man? I mean, what's all the talk besides the defense in Pittsburgh? What about Rodgers?
Yeah, I sort of felt like, and I said this, like, I just don't know how much he's got left. And then you go, wait a second. We know he was banged up early in the season with the Jets last year. He played a couple of Jacksonville, Miami week 18. He had 4 touchdowns week 18. He had 4 touchdowns week 1. So he's got 2 straight games of 4 touchdown passes. And you start to go, wait, maybe there's more in the tank than we think here. Now I know they want to get back to more Steelers type football, running the ball, playing good defense. But they're going to have to open it up a little bit more than they have in recent years. I mean, listen, that's why you go get Rodgers. That's why you bring in DK and you pay him $30 million plus a year. So I think you might see a more open Steelers offense than we've seen in recent years. And I thought he looked really good. I did.
Yeah, I thought the same thing. Anything anything that we're not seeing that you go, oh, keep an eye out on X player, X team.
Anything that you're not seeing, keep an eye out for X player, X team. But we went through the whole NFC, so we got to go AFC. The Colts fascinate me. The Colts fascinate me. They do, because that's not a great division, and we thought Houston would run away with it. I like Shane Steichen. I love Lou Anarumo. I think he's so. Lou Anarumo got fired as the Bengals defensive coordinator last year.
Yeah, I know.
And I'm not so sure he was that upset about it.
Yeah.
Right?
No, well, why would you get paroled? Get out of there.
I mean, the talent or lack thereof.
Yeah.
On that side of the ball to go to Indianapolis. And by the way, that's not the greatest collection of talent there, but he did a great job week 1. So Indy fascinates me as a team. They're not going to win the Super Bowl, but like, can they do enough? Yeah. So I was down on them. I may have to raise expectations a little bit.
All right, last thing. How long did the Giants stay with Russ? I mean, come on, just go to the kid. My God.
After this week, it's Chiefs, Chargers. I don't think it's. I mean, depending on how. If it gets so bad where you can't, like, if Russ can sort of stay afloat, you get through this stretch. There's a home game. I even locked in on it. I was like, that's the game. There's a home game relatively early on. So they're home against Chiefs, home against the Chargers, at the Saints. I thought it may be the Eagles game, which is no, it's a Thursday night. No, it wasn't it. No, it was a Saints game. In my mind, it was like he could start at New Orleans and then come back home on a Thursday and start against the Eagles. So Cowboys this week, Chiefs, Chargers, home, and then I think it's that Saints game where it's just maybe the entry point for him.
Perfect. Mikey G, great stuff. We'll be watching and the whole thing. Follow you on Twitter, everything. You're the best. We love you.
You got it, pal. Have a great week 2 in the NFL.
Go Flyers.
Hey, we're almost there. Almost there.
Buddy. I got to tell you about I sat with Talk and Jonesy and Briere the other day. Good stuff.
Where are my people? Where was my invite?
Yeah, you'll be down. Don't worry. We got a lot of fun.
Listen, I don't get any invites until you and I get together and grab a beer like we've been talking about for way too long. So I got to make that happen.
Love it, bro. Best of the girls, man. Thanks, buddy.
All right, you got it. You too.
The great Mikey G coming up, the legend, a Friday legend. He's an everyday legend. Baldy. Yeah,
that would be a stretch for Dart. It's the Saints, and it's Eagles, Broncos, Eagles, Niners, Bears, Packers, Lions.
Well, you got to throw the kids in the mix. Hey, I can't take Russ. No more Russ. No more. All right, let's take care of some business. Then we go to Baldy, which we cannot wait for. Every Baldy day is a great day. Let's talk about Parks Casino. All right, let's go with our friends at Parks Casino and the BetParks app. New customers, it's happening. Yep, Sunday, Birds are a 1.5-point road favorite in Kansas City. We'll see what Baldy likes. The total is 47. I told you like the under. Got a big college football weekend. Texas A&M and Notre Dame. Notre Dame, the Irish.
Can I give you a play?
LSU, Florida. What do you got?
Did you? I love Syracuse minus 37.5 versus Cornell. Did you see the end of the Syracuse game? It was a nug we didn't get to. They won in overtime, but their coach made them stay on the field and do sprints after the game because he did not like the way they played in a victory. They were on the field in full uniform doing sprints. I think Syracuse comes back this week and lays a pounded on Cornell.
Okay. All right. I like the trash, man. Always eyeing up the trash. I love it. Here you go. Check out my team at BetParks Online Sportsbook Casino has a great offer for new users. That's right. Download the app, open up an account, get up to $50 back on your first sports bet if it doesn't win. Plus, you'll get a BetParks bonus box, 50 BetParks coins, 50 bonus spins on the BetParks Collect Them online slot game. You got all the games, right? College, pro, baseball, you name it. Go over Phillies tonight and check it out, man. All the props you want. For all the conditions, betparks.com. Always another way to win on the BetParks app. Got to be 21, located PA, New Jersey. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER.
All right, let's talk about TrueMark Financial and a great program they got going on with this Greenlight account. So fall's here. Maybe your kids got a little bankroll from a summer job. Maybe they're picking up some chores as you get back into the groove and they're going to have some money. So it's a perfect time to set them up with something that teaches them real-world money skills and gives them a little bit of freedom. And that's this Greenlight debit card and money app from TrueMark. And if you're a TrueMark Financial member, you get a Greenlight account totally free for your kids or teens. Simple way to help them manage their own money, whether it's from that job or an allowance. They get their own debit card. They can set savings goals, track spending, and they learn how to budget, all while you stay in the loop from your phone. So you're still in control, but they get to learn how money really works in everyday life. So while they're young, this is a great way to help your kids build some smart money habits that'll stick with them long after the season's over, so they become responsible fiscal adults. So head over to TrueMark.com/Greenlight, get all the details, sign up today, and don't miss a chance to set your kids up for some financial success. TrueMark.com/Greenlight.
Love it. Love it. Love it. You know what I love? On the Xfinity guest line, brought to us by Ford. Ford. Built tough. Baldy's big hits. Baldy.
Baldy, Baldy. Oh, let's talk some football. Baldy, Baldy. Oh, he likes meats and football.
Oh, Baldy. There he is.
Morning, Gus.
Good morning,
BG.
legend.
Football Friday here, bro. Football Friday, man.
Oh, man. It was a great night last night watching the Packers. They look pretty
watching
nasty,
the Packers,
dude.
watching Micah.
Yeah.
Watching Micah destroy the Commanders.
Hey, they're nasty, man. They're a fun team. Like just to watch, just from a football standpoint, they're good. What they do offensively, I mean, LaFleur is such a good coach, and he's underrated. And look, when he gets Kraft just loose, man, there's nobody around him.
Listen, the tight end position. I played tight end when I was when I went to college. I was a tight end.
You were a tight end.
Like I can draw up 6 different ways to get a tight end the ball in any given play.
Right.
Before I was an offensive lineman, I was a tight end.
Yeah.
But like they just tight end delays, tight end dumps, YY formations, run a banana. Like it's just so many different ways. And they used him last night. He's a great player. He's a very good blocker. Very good after the catch. I mean, he's scored touchdowns down in both the first 2 games for him.
How good is Green Bay?
Well, they played without 2 starting offensive linemen last night. They had a rookie right tackle and they had a second-year left guard. I mean, they were down 2 linemen. You couldn't tell the difference. They're very good. But, Snoop Dogg, Snoop, right? So Snoop's his nephew is Keyshawn Nixon.
Right. Right.
So
right.
he's their left corner. He got
Right.
a game ball last night. He's a lockdown left corner. A lockdown left corner. They couldn't complete a pass against him last night. That's 2 weeks in a row now. I did the same thing to Detroit. Like, Jeff Hafley is the defensive coordinator. You see him up in the booth last night. Like, that guy's going to be a head coach. He was a head coach at Boston College. Like, he's very bright. And they do a lot of things. Now, they got a lot of talent. Edgerrin Cooper can run, and Micah and Rashawn Gary. They got a lot of talent. But his scheme is, man, it's really tough. It's tough to penetrate. Detroit couldn't get nothing off, and Washington had 100 yards offense after 3 quarters last night.
Yeah, man, they're pretty nasty. Let's get right to the lead, which is Super Bowl rematch, Super Bowl 59 rematch on Sunday. And, obviously the Chiefs in a world of trouble when it comes to losing. You got no Rice, and now it appears Worthy is not going to play. So you're down your 2 best receivers. You're coming off the loss in Brazil. What do you see in this? What changes, by the way, from February to today?
Well, they've added Tyquan Thornton. He's faster than anybody they have. I mean, I would put him against. I don't know if Adori's going to play or who's going to play the left corner.
Yeah, Adori's playing.
He got behind the Chargers defense 3 times.
Yep.
Mahomes missed him twice, hit him once. I mean, that's going to be their deep ball threat. And they can dink and dunk with the best of them. Nobody's better in the screen game than Andy. Nobody. So, I mean, they'll have a variety of screens that will be up. Now, the Eagles' speed with Jihad and Zach Bond. And, I always say that the screen game is the defense line is in charge of the screen game. Like, turn and run, retrace your steps, go make the play. So, they'll have 8 guys active up front, like turn and run. If Jordan Davis plays like he did last week and Jalen's back, and, they should be in good shape to be able to handle, the screen game. But you're going to see a lot of them.
What do you see on the other side of the ball, Baldy, when it comes to, obviously Spags is going to test. He watched the same tape you did against Dallas, and, that's what he does. And, he's going to look to try to take away Saquon. And
well, they'll play their 3 big linebackers. They'll play Chanel and Nick Bolton and Drew Tranquil. Nobody has 3 linebackers that size in this league. Spags loves to play 3. He tries to find, you can't always do it when they put 4 receivers out there and whatnot, but he tries to play those 3 as much as possible because they're all really good football players, really good football players. So they'll have those guys on the field. Just look for them. They're 32 and 43, and Chanel is 54. So you'll see those 3 guys out there. And they'll sell out to stop Saquon. It should open things up for, some of the receivers. But that's what they'll do. I mean, that'll be the game plan. And then you get the 2nd, 3rd down, like Spags has got every pressure in the world to come after you. And he'll see, like, they were bad last week at, recognizing it and then seeing where the hot is. And I'm sure that Spags wants to test that early. Like, what do they got for our blitz game? How are they going to handle it? How are they going to handle our blitz zero? How are they going to handle our B gap pressures? How are they going to handle us mugging the A gaps? I'm sure he's going to get a real early dose of it to see what they're going to do and then to react from there.
Especially without Goedert, who is such a good blocking tight end.
Well, not just that, but I mean, he was their check down guy last week.
Yeah.
He caught 7 passes. I mean, that was the go-to player when Dallas is just playing this, too high shell in the zone coverage and selling out to stop the run. He was the guy that, Jalen found over and over again.
Yeah. How do you, we talked a lot about, AJ and, maybe the hammy was hampered him a little bit because he really wasn't winning a lot on that side. What about Devontae? Could this be a Devontae week?
Well, I would push back on AJ. Like, they didn't man up on him. I mean, he just played zone, but there's ways to get him the ball. Nobody did anything to take AJ away in that game. They just, like I said, they just played a soft shell zone. But, Devontae is, I mean, if AJ is 1A, then Devontae's right there because he doesn't have the size or the power that AJ has, but he's got tremendous and elite ball skills and great movement. Like he can separate from anybody, and he's tough as can be. He's skinnier than Deshaun, but just like Deshaun, really was never bothered by any hits. He had hamstring issues, but and those kind of things, but he never, no hit ever bothered or broke him. And Devontae's the same way. He's just a piece of freaking steel wire is what he is.
So, if going to the mind of Petullo, you see AJ just getting a ton of. Hey, we gotta establish that early. Like, what are you seeing?
Well, I'm sure the Chiefs are going to match up. The Chiefs are going to do one of two things. Either they're going to put Jalen Watson, their second corner, on AJ with help, or they're going to put Trent McDuffie, their best corner, on him and let him go man up. Now, I don't think either guy or any situation can really handle AJ, but honestly, it really comes down to Jalen and what he sees. They can call the plays they want. If Jalen isn't looking that way, or he doesn't see it, or he gets pressure and he starts to move, then AJ knows that, like, I got to do my best to get back into his vision. But if he's rolling right and I'm on the left side of the field, I'm not getting the ball. So that happened, a couple times the other night against Dallas.
What would you grade the Eagles' offense the other night?
Well, I mean, I would have told everybody, in hindsight, that after the lightning delay, just go take a nap. It's over. Like, they didn't do anything, so they played 40 minutes of football. So, look, they tried to get Saquon going. He had one or two runs, and Shipley had one or two, and Jalen, obviously. If they're not going to count for Jalen in the red zone, he's going to score every time on you. And so I would say, a solid B, because they didn't turn the ball over. They scored 24 points, which isn't bad. It's not 40, but 24 is going to win a lot of games for him. And Jalen didn't make mistakes, but it wasn't a dynamic performance outside of the throw down the field to Jahan Dotson, that's kind of what Dallas wanted you to do, like keep it all underneath. So I'd give them a B, because I think they can play a lot better up front than what they did.
What's your expectation for Sunday?
Well, I think the Eagles are a better team. It doesn't mean that they're going to win, but I expect them. Look, the Chiefs had to travel and they had 9 days to get ready. The Eagles had 10 days to get ready, and they got to travel to Kansas City. I mean, Kansas City had to travel to Brazil, so that's not easy. But they both have a lot of time to really prepare for this game, to really study each team's nuances in a new season. So the game plan should be really good for both sides of the ball. You give Andy an extra 2 days to tinker. He's extremely clever. So I would say that we're going to see a really good game. And we're not going to see a 34-0 blowout, but I think Jalen Carter makes a big difference. Like, if you took Chris Jones out of the Chiefs defense, like, they're just an average defense.
Right.
But with Chris Jones there, they can be a great defense.
Yeah.
And have carried that team for the last 3 years.
Yeah. I mean,
I feel the same way about Jalen.
Yeah. And then I'm with you. Like, Carter means so much to everybody involved. That's why he wrecked their game plan last year in the Super Bowl.
Well, I mean, if you just look at Micah last night, like, he ruined the Washington Commanders, right?
Yeah.
So, and that was with him chipping, guard doubling. Like, he still ruined them. Like, he had 10 rushes where he hit Jaden Daniels last night. Well, Jalen Carter, if you leave him single block, he's going to beat. And look, Trey Smith is a great player. He's the highest paid guard in football, and he's going to line up over Trey. But Trey really can't handle one-on-one. So Creed Humphrey's got to come slide. They got to give him some help. And Patrick knows that. Like, pressure right up the middle is going to move him, which, Mahomes is used to doing. But, when he gets that, if he takes Trey Smith and Creed Humphrey in a passing down, that's the two best offensive linemen. Now, Jawan Taylor and Joshua Simmons, like these guys on the edges. I mean, Nolan Smith, Jalen Hunt, they got to go win. They got to hunt. He's going to take all the pressure off those guys.
Well, we were talking earlier. It seemed like that you're talking about their offensive line. The left side seems to be vulnerable. When you watched the tape for their game in Week 1, how did they look last week?
Oh, they were fine. They were fine. Joan, the left guard is new at that position. Simmons is new. The one thing I would say, like just watching Simmons, like I know when it's a run or a pass. Like he has a different stance. And so, like I'm sure, like I saw it in preseason. So I mean, there's a pretty good indicator of what's coming. So, now it might change. Like young guys got to play with their stance. They got to work on it. So it's really important to keep everything looking exactly the same. But um, I kind of see a difference right now. But they were okay. They weren't great, but they were better than what was going on last year.
Coming up in a little bit, we're going to go through your 3 game balls of the week. Bring that back from last year because all the tape that you're grinding and watching. But let's cover a couple league things. We talked a lot about the, and I'm going to get your opinion on this, the Ben Johnson Bowl. So it's Bears and Lions. It's going to be fascinating. Caleb looked great in the scripted stuff. And then once the game changed, it was JJ looked better. How do you see it now against the Lions?
Well, the Lions were awful week 1. They missed Ben, but they've got 2 new guards and a center. Like it was broken. I mean, Jahmyr Gibbs and David Montgomery ran 20 times for 44 yards. They had no run game. They had one explosive play the whole day. And that was what they were great at last year. Jameson Williams, Jahmyr, Laporta. I mean, they were.
But it all came from their run game. A
lot of it comes off the run game. But Jared Goff was under siege. Micah was a big part of that. But just the way that they attacked the line of scrimmage. So, like what Green Bay did was they used Edgerrin like they did last night. Edgerrin Cooper, Quay Walker, the linebackers. They just sold out to stop the run, and a number of times, and it worked. But when teams are doing that, you got to make it pay in the passing game. Like there's just going to be an open layer in the middle of the field, and Goff couldn't get there because he was being moved so frequently. But they missed Ben. There's no question. Defensively, I don't think Detroit is great. The problem I saw with Caleb is his drops. He's under center a lot now. There's a lot of 7-step drops, play action. Like he's back there. But either he's too fast or the receivers aren't good enough. Because when he's ready to throw, the receivers aren't open or they're not ready for the ball. And as soon as he sees that, he moves. And now they're off script. And so at some point, they got to marry the drop with the routes. Either the routes have to be shorter or they have to win quicker, or Caleb's got to slow it down and allow these things to develop.
Feels like he's moving way too fast.
Even on the opening drive they scored on, where he completed the first 10 passes, he was moving. Now, the other part to this was everybody talked about, they fixed the offensive line. They brought in Jonah Jackson and Drew Dahlman, all these guys. They were awful. The group as a group was awful last week. So they're not going to win a lot of games. They couldn't run the ball. It was just broken. Like the protections were bad. But the Vikings are a talented front, very talented. They've got talented players, Devon Hargrave, Jonathan Allen, Van Ginkel, Grenard. I mean, they're talented. And they got a great coordinator. And so, they make a lot of offensive lines look bad.
So they got a great game. It's going to be fun Sunday night, Minnesota and Atlanta. Yeah, I was talking to Mike.
Michael Penix played great last week.
He did.
He played great. They had a chance all the way to the end. I mean, with 9 seconds to go, he completed a ball to a kid named Casey Washington. I didn't even know who he was. I had to go look him up. But the ball was right in his hands, and it gets knocked out of his hands, like at the 5-yard line. He made a laser of his throw. He was pretty good. They lost Drake London during the game, and that's their best receiver. So they're throwing to Casey Washington and some of these other guys. But I thought Penix played great.
Yeah, I did too. I love Penix. I like them. Is there something missing from them? I mean, I love Bijan.
Well, they spent a lot of money and a lot of money and resources on pass rush. They bring in Leonard Floyd. They draft Pierce. They draft Jalen Walker, right? And I mean, Tampa just pitched a shutout on them. I mean, they didn't touch Baker in that game. So, the pass rush has to be better. And that was at home, game 1. And that's with a starting center playing left tackle and a left guard playing center, and they couldn't beat him. So, there should be some concern in Atlanta about that.
Yeah. Where are you headed this weekend?
I'm headed to Super Bowl rematch, bro. I'm heading to Kansas City.
Yeah, like how great is that? You know, I mean, seriously.
It's gonna be barbecue.
I get the best schedule, cuz I'll be here next week when the Rams come to town, and the Rams were awesome. Their defense was lights out good the other day against Houston. I mean, honestly, I haven't seen CJ Stroud struggle like that since he came into the league.
How's the Houston O-line? Because they tried to fix it, and it seemed like they can't.
Well, they put Cam Robinson at left tackle, which is fine. They took the rookie Ariante Ursary, who looked good in the preseason. They put him at right tackle. They've got Laken Tomlinson, who never misses a game, but he's very average at left guard. I mean, they got 4 new pieces up front, and they were terrible. The same things that plagued Houston last year: sacks and pressures and penalties. I mean, they were the second most penalized team in the league last year, and they were first and 20 all game long in that game. But credit the Rams; that's a good. They're 7 deep up front, and they're all good players.
What do you think of their offense?
Stafford's he's just a cockroach, man. Like, I don't care how many times you hit that guy. I don't care how bad his back is. That guy can sling the football, man. Like, you just give him a tick, he'll find Puka Nacua. He's got Devontae now. I mean, it doesn't matter. The blitz pickup was awesome. They lost their left guard during the game. Didn't matter. Like, he'll just stay in there and take these shots and just deliver no-look passes in the middle of the field like nobody would even try it in practice, and he's doing it in a game.
Why'd they only put up 14?
Because Houston's defense is awesome. I mean, that defense is legit. Yeah. I mean, you're looking at Will Anderson and Hunter, and you're looking at staying on the outside, like they're Jalen Petrie, like their linebackers can fly, like they're really, really good.
That'll be interesting. That's an interesting game between Houston and Tampa this week.
It's a great game. It is a great game. Jason Light, he was here with with Joe Banner. Like, that guy has done a phenomenal job in Tampa. Phenomenal job. Like, his draft picks, that Emeka Ibuka was as good as any receiver.
I love that kid, man. Yeah.
Listen to this. The kid. So Jason, he's always texting me about something. So the game-winning touchdown is Ibuka, the second touchdown of the day. And he comes into the huddle and he says, "Look, Baker, he goes to Baker like, run this play. I'm going to beat this corner across the field. Just throw it. I'll get it." Like, he called and Mike Evans like, "All right, Rook. All right, Rook." Like, Mike Evans is saying, Mike's awesome. The best has been as good as anybody in football since 2014 when he came in the league. And he's like, the Rook is calling the play. The guy was a 4.0 student at Ohio State. 4.0.
Yeah,
the guy
the kid's a bright kid.
He's brilliant, and he's tough,
and
he's talented.
Yeah.
Like, you can't go wrong with those guys.
No. I mean, that's fantastic. And then we got a doubleheader Monday night, the first doubleheader of the year. I love the double. The Monday night double is awesome.
Why not?
Yeah.
I mean, I just turn the sound down because I don't want to listen to anybody. But I mean, no offense. I'm teasing. But I'll have one game over here, one game over here. I mean, if one game stinks, you go to the other game.
Yeah.
If both games are good, like you're going back and forth, I mean, it's awesome.
All right, give me what happens on Sunday in the rematch.
Well, I mean, I think they're going to, do everything they can to get Saquon going, which is obvious. But there's a lot of ways to get him the ball. I mean, you can swing the ball to him in the passing game. You can screen it to him. Like, you just want to get the ball in his hands. Like, he's a great receiver. The Giants used to line him up at receiver. Like, I just think you got to. Like, if the running game is getting clogged up because Chris Jones there and those linebackers are there, all right. There's a lot of different ways. There's pitches, there's sweeps, there's screens. Like, I just think you got to really work at getting him the ball any way possible. And because his speed and vision is just so good, and they're a very athletic offensive line. So you get, little things, tunnel screens to the guy. Like, get him and AJ going. Like, I would literally have a play sheet. I literally have a play sheet like this, and I'm like, okay, I got AJ's first downs. I would just call them drive starters.
Yeah.
Like, I got 5 here to AJ to start the drive. I got 5 right here to Saquon. And I'm just like going, okay, what do you think, guys? I'm like, it's Friday? I'm like, guys, you like this script? Like, if I'm Patullo, I'm going, AJ, you like these drive starters?
Yeah.
Saquon, you like, I mean, I just go right off the script. and get those guys going.
Yeah.
But I like the Eagles. I like their talent. I like the way they're coached. You know, I think they've got some holes defensively that we got to see still. But I think getting Jalen back, watching Jihad play, you know, I think they're going to be okay.
I like it. I like it.
And I'm expecting a big game. I'm expecting a big game from Nolan Smith. He was disappointing in the first game to me. But you know, Dak got rid of the ball very quickly.
So that's that's going to help.
One thing we know about Mahomes, he's going to hold the ball. He's going to give you time to get home. So I would say number 3, I would think shows up this week. And him and Jalen play so well off each other. Their twist stunts and things that they do. So I would look for Nolan to have a really good game.
I love it. Baldy! When are you leaving, tomorrow morning?
Yeah, I'm heading out tomorrow morning. Yeah, my brother's out there, so I'll see some people.
Nice.
Bill Moss is out there, some of my buddies. So I'll go see some people when I get out there and then get ready to head to Arrowhead, man. And then, the good thing is, like, I can't get out Sunday nights. The late game is a 4:30 kick. So I just stay at Arrowhead, like after the game. Game finishes at 6:30. I'll just stay there till midnight.
Yeah.
Watch all the 1 o'clock games. Then catch a 5:30 flight back here.
I love it. I love it.
Yeah.
I'm fired up. Thanks, brother. You're the greatest. Safe trip.
Okay, you got it, guys.
Next week, Here he is, Baldy. We're in overtime, boys. Overtime in a big way.
I guess he's just allowed to hang out at the stadium. It's pretty cool to be able to just chill out at the stadium afterwards, hang out, watch some film.
You do. Well, anybody can.
Yeah?
Yeah, I've done it more than a few times. Like, you're covering a game and you're writing, like, you could have 3 stories, 4 stories to write, and you're just there cranking them out.
Is there a point where they will kick you out? Or
No.
No?
Cool. I mean, you're not going to – you want to leave at some point. Everyone wants to leave.
You could be working until 2 a.m.
Yeah, it's like,
Cool.
it's just the workers are the workers. They're always going to be manned. They're cleaning up. They're doing stuff. So, attendants may leave and stuff, but you're good. There's security there all the time. So, hey, nobody's giving you the keys to the stadium, right? But you're good.
Nice.
All about when you want to leave and get to the parking lot. I used to love. I love 2 things. I love empty stadiums. I love the morning before a game. I love coming to a stadium before the fans and there's nobody there. And now football's different because of the tailgate stuff.
Right.
Baseball, you would go and there would be, it's just, workers and a lot of times you're there before the workers, right? The teams get there. The bus usually they have a 3 o'clock bus for a 7 o'clock game. They have an early bus that's 1 o'clock, but you get there early, and and I love late after the game.
Yeah, yeah.
The remnants.
Seems like
of
it'd be
the
cool
stadium.
to be in a stadium after a game.
Yeah, they all have stadiums. Are all like you feel ghosts, especially in the older ones. Like you feel the ghosts in the stadium. Yeah. Lambeau is a place that there's ghosts. Like you feel it.
Like an energy or something.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh yeah. There's definitely energy stuck in those places.
Yeah.
Big time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's pretty cool. I love it. It's one of my favorite things is being in a
it seems like it'd be super cool.
Yeah. I love it. All right. We got our man TV, Todd. All right. Because man cannot live by football alone. Though we try, there might be a date night, maybe tonight, maybe tomorrow night. Let's find out what to watch with our significant others. TV Todd.
Act like a man. You can't handle the truth.
It's time for TV Todd.
Todd. On the Xfinity guest line. That's right. Good morning, buddy. Look at that.
Good morning. Look at my shirt.
He's got the Durantula. I love
it. Come on. You guys made a strong shirt.
Looks good on you, man.
Dude, that looks great on you.
Yeah.
It feels good. It feels good after last night.
Yeah, it does. The one thing I love about our merch is that we use great material.
Oh, good quality shirts.
You know what I mean? Our merch has good material.
I can attest to that. Very soft, very comfortable. It breathes.
Yeah, it breathes. I love it. Well, good morning, my brother. It was great to see you. In fact, a little teaser. We had a shoot with the Flyers the other day.
Nice.
We're putting together a great sit-down interview with the Flyers. I'm very excited by this. And in fact, we wanted to make this thing great. And so I brought my boy in to help produce the piece.
Why not? I mean, it's what he does.
And he's a huge Flyers man. So that was a great day. We'll tell people more about it in the coming days.
Yeah, that was special. Your fans and everybody are absolutely going to love the piece. And listen, I didn't have to do much. Your team, your PHLY team, is fantastic.
Yeah, they were great. Jules and Brenna were fantastic, and it was a lot of fun, man. It's good stuff. That's
Top notch. I am so ready for the puck drop now. It's crazy.
Dude, I know, man. I feel the same way. Jonesy got me fired up. The talk. Taka got me fired up. Danny got me fired up.
A great crew of guys, bro.
Yeah. I'm looking forward to it. That's awesome. That's a great.
What was that, a foghorn? Was that the goal horn?
Goal horn, yeah.
That's awesome, Andrew. That's fantastic. All right, buddy. So we cannot live by football alone, or baseball, or hockey, or basketball. So what are we watching with our significant others?
Well, first of all, the next couple of weeks here are big theater weeks. There's some films coming out in the theaters that I cannot wait for, starting this weekend. So we got two big films this weekend. Obviously, VG and I are pumped for Spinal Tap 2.
Here we are.
I can't wait to see that. I don't care. I immediately, the critics are, negative. Immediately they're negative. They were negative about the first film. They didn't understand it. They didn't get it. I'm so excited to go back into that Christopher Guest world. I can't wait.
Yeah, it's going to be fun. And, it's going to be what it is. I know what I'm getting into. It's almost like Happy Gilmore 2. I know what I'm getting into. The jokes will be clever. The music will be okay.
Yeah, listen, what you're doing is you're celebrating what that film did to culture, right? That film absolutely changed culture from not only from the music perspective, poking fun at these stereotypes, but from a mockumentary standpoint, Christopher Guest and revolutionized, maybe invented, he didn't invent it, but he revolutionized the mockumentary. So I think it's just celebrating it. You go to the theater and this is going to be a fun movie.
Totally agree. Are you seeing it in IMAX?
I don't think I'm going to see IMAX. I'm always disappointed when I go to do that. I'm like, why did I do that? I didn't need to do that.
Yeah.
They have that movie in IMAX?
They do.
That's a little much.
That's a little much.
Well, Andrew, I hear what you're saying. I mean, the IMAX films that you really do enjoy are the big special effects, the big, beautiful, CGI craziness. And this is not that. So, but Andrew, I know you're excited about the other film that I am absolutely going to see as quickly as I can this weekend. The Long Walk.
Oh yeah.
Which is out today.
Yeah,
this is
good.
I can't wait.
It's going to be great. This is a movie that's based on, I think it was the first book that Stephen King ever wrote. He didn't write it under the name Stephen King. He wrote it under a pseudonym back in the 70s. And it's kind of a dystopian film about these men who volunteer to go on this, I don't know how long the walk is, but it's hours and hours and hours and hours and hours. And whoever survives last on the walk, people are dropping dead from the exhaustion, and there's maneuvering, and whoever survives gets these riches. But it looks so good. It's got David Johnson from The Industry. It's got Mark Hamill is in it as I think he's one of the guards that pushes the guys along.
Yeah.
I don't know. But yeah, I'm excited for this one. What's interesting about this is I was reading an article about it, and they said that it affected the actors a lot too, but it's really about male relationships. These relationships that guys can have, and how those relationships are fraught with competition or with jealousy or love, whatever. I contrast that with another film that's all about male relationships that I have talked about endlessly on your show, but it has now become the #1 film on HBO Max. I knew it. It's a huge hit, Friendship. That's out now. We didn't get a chance to talk about it last week because of the game, but Friendship is now streaming on HBO Max. So 2 interesting films based on the same kind of theme. One, of course, is a dark comedy and hilarious, and the other is just dark. But I'm pretty excited for The Long Walk.
So they did a special premiere, I think it was this past week, where they had the audience actually on treadmills the entire movie.
Oh,
and
wow.
everybody walked while they were watching The Long
Wow,
Walk.
that's a great idea.
Yeah, there was
That's
like 15
awesome.
people in a room. They all had the treadmill. It was really cool.
Well,
Yeah. So what would happen with that is the key is that if they stopped walking, the movie would shut off for them, and they didn't get to preview it. So they had to keep walking in order to keep the movie going.
Wow, that's
awesome.
crazy. The 2 hours. That's awesome. That's what's the runtime?
Oh, I should have checked that for VG, but I didn't check that.
Yeah, that's great. That's good stuff.
Hour 48. We're good.
There you go.
Perfect.
Perfect.
Walk for an hour 48 minutes. That's great.
Hey, Anthony, I also have to add, your buddies who made Task. So I watched the first episode, as I'm sure a lot of you did. Really good. I mean, really strong.
It's funny. Was it Wednesday night I watched it? It was fantastic. It was after the Phillies. It was fantastic. It's a good show, man. It's well done. Brad Inglesby and Jeremiah Zagar. I mean, they're fantastic. Show's awesome.
It's really good.
He's great.
And he's great. You guys, listen, the writing is very strong. Obviously, the directing is strong. I thought it was an incredibly good pilot.
Yeah.
And it's not, those kind of shows I don't really get into at first. I don't connect to these like former FBI guy down on his luck, alcoholic. I've seen it a million times. But I usually don't connect to it, and I really, really enjoyed it. And just so you know, the series premiere of that show drew about 3.1 million viewers in its first 3 days, which makes it absolutely one of HBO's top series debuts ever.
Wow.
Wow, really?
Yeah.
That's great for those guys.
Beating out like Game of Thrones and all that?
That's awesome.
Yeah. Crazy, man. Wow. It's doing really, really, really well, and good for those guys. Good for those guys. It even re-energized the viewership for Mayor of Easttown. That ended up back in the top 10 of HBO too. So
great.
Kudos to the local guys.
Yeah, that's fantastic. Good job, boys.
Yeah,
awesome. Fantastic. Anything we should be watching? We can rent, like that we're Netflix or anything we should be looking at?
Well, this isn't really my cup of tea. Even though I work in this specific industry, I would have watched this, but someone spoiled it for me, and I heard what the ending was. But everybody is really getting into this Netflix documentary called Unknown Number High School Catfish, and it's about these kids who are being sort of catfished and being harassed. And people are loving it. I mean, it's been a top Netflix series now for at least a week. And unfortunately, someone told me the ending. And once I knew the ending, I just didn't feel like watching it. But everybody tells me it's a really good doc.
Sounds like
I haven't seen it.
Sounds like you're out.
I think the Pega might have watched that. He said it was all right.
Sounds like that sounds like something you would watch.
Oh, 100%.
Dude, I gotta say, you know what I've been watching? It's not a safe space, but I'll admit it here anyway. It's so darn good. There's a new season of it out.
It's not a safe space.
Slop. The Great British Baking Show.
Oh, man.
Oh, God.
Baby.
Dude.
That show is so consistently good.
So that's my wife's favorite show.
Well, me and Tammy are watching.
And
it's so relaxing.
And Massimo loves it. So it is relaxing.
Soggy bottom.
So it's the greatest to go to sleep to.
It's so good and soothing.
Honestly, it's unbelievable because she says to me, like, there'll be times she's like, you want to put something on when you go to sleep? You want, she said, you want, like, we watch these walking tours of Italy, right?
Yeah.
She's like, do you want a walking tour or you want the Great British Baking Show? And I always go Great British Baking Show because they're just so like the melodic language. It lulls you to sleep.
They got nice music.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
And if you're staying awake and paying
It's
attention,
funny
the
you
stuff
say
they
that.
bake is amazing.
Yeah, I know. It's a great show. I'm with you, man.
I love Ron Hollywood.
Yeah.
That guy's great.
Listen, we're all in agreement.
I love that your bedtime choice is the walking tour of Italy or the Great British Baking Show.
That's what you know. Don't let a gummy be involved.
Big Farts Jones says his girlfriend watches that show nonstop, and they say buttercream 500 times an episode.
Butter. Yeah. Oh, the best. Oh, it's great. I freaking
Oh man, I
love
thought I
it.
was going to get skewered for that one.
No, we're all in agreement with you, buddy. We all
Well,
agree.
you know, working with you this week, cuz I was reminded how good you are in terms of your interview skills, in terms of just following a conversation instead of having things ready. I'm going to follow that conversation we just had just now. There's a British show that is out now today, and I'm not sure where it is. I'll pull it up. I think it's streaming on Paramount. That's what it is, Paramount Plus. It was a really big hit back in April on the BBC, and it's called Reunion. And all the episodes are out now on Paramount. And the theme of it is that there's a guy, he's deaf, and he's imprisoned, and he gets out of prison, and he goes on like this search to find out who did him wrong and exact revenge and all that thing. It was a really big hit in the UK, and they use my wife's a sign language interpreter, but she uses ASL, American Sign Language. They use British Sign Language, BSL, in this show. But that's a big one. A lot of people are writing about it today that they're hoping that American audiences find it because it's unique and different, and the Brits loved it. So that's Reunion on Paramount Plus.
I'd watch that.
Yeah.
I'm in on that. That sounds good.
And lastly, I'll tell you what the women are excited for launching today, because I'm already reading about this is a female audience skewing thriller that guys and everybody will love too. It's called The Girlfriend, and it's on Prime. And basically, it's the story of this mom. Robin Wright is the star of it. She's awesome in everything that she's in. She's a mom who becomes somewhat jealous or suspicious of her son's girlfriend.
Oh, that's great. I'm going to watch that. I'm going to
Yeah. Yeah, it becomes like a thriller where she like gaslights her and all kinds of stuff. So I know I'm reading that a lot of women are excited about this, but it sounds perfect for everyone to watch. Robin Wright, thriller, stalking, it sounds fun.
And what is it on?
That is on Prime. Amazon
great.
Prime.
Yeah, maybe we'll do that tomorrow night. I like it.
That's a good one for
stuff. Yeah, because, listen, she's the mother of two boys, so this is great.
It'll be like a what not to do guide for her.
That's awesome. Great stuff, my brother. What are you going to be? Give me a prediction on Eagles and Chiefs Super Bowl rematch.
I'm feeling like the score is going to be eerily similar to last week. I'm thinking it's going to be like around a 20-21.
Yeah.
Birds are going to eke it out because they're just calmer. I feel like the Chiefs are panicking a little bit.
Yeah.
I feel like they know what it looks like, at least perception-wise, if they lose this game. So I feel good about it.
I like it. I can see that. Totally see it. My brother, have a great weekend. We'll talk to you next week, buddy.
You too, guys. Have a good one.
See you, pal. All right. Time now for some predictions.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
All right. Andrew, you want to get started?
Yeah, I kind of gave my prediction a little earlier in the show. I think we're going to be looking at like a 24-10.
24-10.
I think the Eagles
Birds hold them the 10 spot.
I think so, yeah.
Wow.
I'd love to see that. A little closer this time than the Super Bowl, but Eagles still a better roster. I think 31-20.
31-20. So you got an over. I'm vacillating between 24 and 27. I'll go 24-16.
16.
Yeah.
All right.
24-16.
We all got to win it by at least a touchdown.
Yeah, I don't know how it changes. Like, again, unless we're misreading, unless the Eagles' offense caves under the pressure.
Right. They seem to be, I don't know, This
like
is the one
I
thing-
mean, under the blitz, like not pressure. I meant more like they cave under a Spags pressure thing, and Saquon can't get loose, and they struggle offensively because I don't see Kansas City putting up a lot of points.
I don't think so.
So the only way I think the Chiefs can win the game or the Eagles can lose the game is if they fall under pressure. And the beauty of Jalen, and I hear, Baldy's talking about the pressures and everything else, but he doesn't turn it over. And if you don't turn it over, like that's winning football.
Yep, and I think he's going to run for a bit. He may have 40, 45 yards rushing.
Yeah, I could totally see it. All right. Anything burning before we get out of here?
No, I'm good.
All right.
Yeah. You?
No, I'm great. I cannot wait. Big weekend of football is upon us. Andrew, great job. Everybody, thank you. All right. And we appreciate your support too, because it's 2 years that PHLY is in existence. And we can't do it without you guys. All right. So make sure you tune into our Eagles show and you know what's going on, and our Sixers show, and our Flyers show, and our Philly show, and Penn State, and all the other stuff that we got going on, all of our pregame shows and everything else. We appreciate it. Like and subscribe if you would. We always need that for all of our individual shows. It helps with the algorithm, helps us being able to create this sort of content. And don't forget to be a diehard. So thanks, guys. We love you. Have a great weekend. Go Birds.
We all silly like the mayor.